What you will experience in this conference is leadership development and perspectives that are designed to empower on individual as well as group levels. For those entrepreneurs, business leaders, civic organizations, and yes, churches, you have signed up for precisely what you will need to advance your respective vision and mission. We will be exposed to kingdom principles that bring kingdom results, and through active engagement will place us on a trajectory for success and fulfillment of purpose. We stand together across sectors, generations, and borders, united by hope, vision, and a shared commitment to leadership that transforms communities and advances the kingdom. We gather as sons and daughters, leaders and learners, ready for a fresh move of God. This is not just another conference. This is a new thing. This is a moment of divine alignment. We declare that this is a season of multiplication. God is raising leaders who can carry wisdom, courage, and spiritual authority. He is stretching our capacity, enlarging our vision, and preparing us for greater impact. We are not here to be spectators. We are here to be equipped, empowered, and deployed. Our thrust for this conference is derived from 2 Timothy 2:2, which says, "You have heard me teach things that have been confirmed by many reliable witnesses. Now, teach these truths to other trustworthy people who will be able to pass them on to others."
So there's this theology of sending. The Father sent the Son sent the Spirit, and then the Spirit has sent the church. But you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria. I'm going to send you to the uttermost parts of the earth. On the evening of the resurrection day, the disciples of Christ were in a locked room. They were fearing their lives. Their leader had just been crucified, buried, and they were hiding in a room that was locked. And Jesus walked through closed doors. Now, pastors, that'll preach. He walked through closed doors. And the Bible says that he breathed on them, and they were filled with the Holy Ghost. And then he said unto them, "As the Father hath sent me, so send I you." The church does not have its own mission. God's mission has a church. There's a distinct difference there. It is God's mission, God's church, God's sending. And so we read this in Paul's writing that he has given to us the ministry of reconciliation. He has entrusted us with the message of reconciliation. Therefore, we are ambassadors. This idea of being sent by the Spirit, it's an empowerment of everyone. The baptism of the Holy Spirit was not given simply to create an emotional experience of spiritual elitism. It was given to create a witnessing movement with global impact.
After 66 steps, I'm Matea Cunningham. This is ZNS.
What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Happy Monday, everyone. I hope your weekend was nothing short of amazing. Today is March 23rd, and you're watching What's Trending. I'm Jiminita Swain, and trust me, you're in for a great show today with some very special guests. He's taught the world, dominated the screen, and now he's bringing that legendary Brooklyn energy to the 242. We've got a comedy powerhouse joining us and sharing why Bahama will be the funniest place on the planet this week. Don't move, the laughs start in 2 minutes. Also, NASA, get ready. Something powerful is moving across the islands. We're talking about the Spring Intermissions Festival and a revival in the city, reaching schools, hospitals, and communities nationwide. We're joined by the visionary behind it all, plus how you can be a part of it. And to finish things off, if it's trending, viral, or breaking the internet, we've got it covered. The Bahama Beauty is diving straight into the timelines with all the stories everyone's talking about. We're taking a short break, but the conversation doesn't stop. What's Trending returns right after this.
Tourism today, Bahamas tourism today.
For this year's upcoming Long Island Mutton Festival, Director of Family Island Development for the Ministry of Tourism, Bernadette Bastian, gave us a glimpse at what festival goers can look forward to.
The Long Island Mutton Festival is a signature event of the Ministry of Tourism. It's a signature event for Long Island. The festival now has been going on for 7 years. This is the 7th annual festival for Long Island, and we anticipate the festival being newer, bigger, and better for the island. So this year, we have more vendors that are participating. We have a great lineup of entertainment for the locals and visitors to experience. We have the Young Chef competition that we're introducing to the festival this year, as well as we have celebrity chef demonstrations from Chef Andrew Fox, who's a local, who's a native of Long Island, and of course, Chef Mario Adley from the University of the Bahamas. This year, we have the Royal Bahamas Police Force marching band that will be in attendance at the festival. We have a great lineup of entertainers as well. We're expecting our headliner, Funky D, to grace the crowd with his presence and bring the energy to the festival. The festival will take place in Salt Pond, Long Island, and this is supposed to spark great economic activity for that settlement. Of course, we're going to be having persons from all over Long Island come to the festival. We're expecting a good number of visitors as well. The Long Islanders Association has endorsed this event, so they will be there in great numbers to participate this festival this year.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
We've got a real treat for you. He's a comedian, actor, and entertainer who's been making audience laugh across the globe with his sharp wit and undeniable stage presence. Joining us now is none other than Tony Rock. Welcome to What's Trending, Tony.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
I am great. So, Tony, you've been in the game a long time. People see the lights and the specials now. But take us back. What was that first moment on stage when you realized, okay, I'm not just funny, I can actually do this for a living?
Well, the first moments were on the back of the, sitting in the back of the school bus when I thought, hey, I make all my classmates laugh. This might be something. And then I saw Richard Pryor in a movie and thought I could do that. And he's the greatest and I want to be like him. And then my brother started doing stand-up and I thought, okay, well, if the guy in the next room is doing it, maybe I have a shot. And then those early years starting out, they're pretty rough. But if you love something, you just, you fight through that. everything in life is hard before it's easy. So you fight through the hard part, and then you get to the good part, and this is where we are now. We're in the good part. We're touring. We're going to the Bahamas to do comedy. It don't get much better than that.
I know, right? That is awesome. So you performed everywhere from Madison Square Garden to comedy clubs across Europe. Now that you're finally here, what's your first impression of the Bahamas energy? Are you ready for a 242 crowd?
Oh, yes, of course. I love the energy in the Bahamas. It feels very family. My parents are from the South. It feels similar to that Southern hospitality. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's smiling. Good morning to everybody you see. It's a very familiar, family-like energy, and I love it. Looking forward to seeing what the comedy crowds are like, and we're gonna bring you guys a great show.
So word on the street is you've got something fresh in the works. Give us the exclusive. Are we talking a new special, a movie, maybe a podcast? What's the next evolution of Tony Rock?
No, I have the podcast. I'm in talks with someone that did a really successful sitcom for years, and he's looking to get back to television. And he saw me perform in LA, and we are just putting the finishing touches on something that might be very exciting for everybody to see. I can't tell you too much, but if it happens, I'll give you guys the exclusive.
I like that. I like that you will remember us if it happens. Fingers crossed, it's gonna happen. So we can look forward to that interview. So every comic has that one set that goes completely off the rails. Maybe a wild heckler or a stage malfunction. What's the most memorable thing that's happened to you, maybe mid-joke?
Well, if a comic just has one of those moments, he's doing very well, because I could write a book on him. I had fights break out. I had people pass out. I had a guy at a New Year's Eve show. Keep in mind, this is New Year's Eve. Everybody's dressed to the nines. The guy in the front row, drunk, stands up and says, "Man, you doing your thing." And a gun drops out of his waistband and onto the floor. And the crowd everybody started running, people screaming. New Year's Eve, what a way to bring in the new year.
I know, right? That is funny. But let's talk about the reason you are here, the big show coming up at Bahama. So for fans grabbing their tickets right now, what's the vibe? Are we getting that raw storytelling, show no mercy crowd work, or a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything. We're gonna have a lot of people vacationing, so we're gonna have people from every walk of life. So I'm gonna give everybody a little taste. And I got some amazing comics with me. My friend Mike Young is super funny. My friend Brett Ernst is amazing. Leah Lamar, super funny. I think all four of us are gonna bring something unique to the show. You're definitely gonna walk away feeling fulfilled after that night.
And coming from a family of absolute legends in entertainment, how do you balance honoring the family name while making sure the world knows exactly who Tony Rock is on his own terms?
Yeah, that's interesting, because the family name is the family name. So our careers aren't defined by, our family name isn't defined by our careers. In our family, we're just, the siblings. We're just the brothers. We're just the sons of Rose and Julius. And our parents don't look at us like celebrities. Our siblings don't look at us like celebrities. So in the family structure, it's very balanced and very, easy going, because nobody looks at us in the family as celebrities. Then there's the other side where we're in the world and people look at us like, we can do no wrong. So we have to find that balance within ourselves to know that we represent our family when we go out, but at the end of the day, this is who we are. This is where our foundation is, our core is, and they mean more than anything to us.
So what's one thing about you off stage that will completely shock your fans? Are you secretly a master chef or a quiet bookworm when the mics are off?
What was shocked, I am a hopeless romantic. I listen to slow jams before a show. I start my morning with Anita Baker and Babyface songs. That's how I get my day going. So I'm just a quiet, hopeless romantic.
That is interesting.
Quiet guy.
That is interesting. You really turn it off and on then. So
I completely turn it off, yes.
I see that. So to the person sitting on their couch right now wondering if they should head out to Bahama, tell them straight, why is the stage show one that they absolutely cannot miss?
Well, you should not be sitting on your couch wondering if you want to come to this show. This is the show that you should have already purchased your tickets to. You should already have your outfit, your haircut, your hair done. You should have your date ready to go. It's going to be amazing. Again, Mike Young, Leah Lamar, Brett Ernst, and Tony Rock all on one show. It's the Bahamas. Just walking outside is beautiful. So the beauty of outside and the fresh air and the beautiful water and the beautiful people and an amazing comedy show to tie your evening to tie your evening up into a bow. You don't want to miss this. You're gonna want to be there. You're gonna leave like, I'm glad I came out the house for this one. And when can they do it again?
I know, right? So finally, you are a pro at reading a room. If the room is a little quiet at the start of a set, what's your go-to move to wake them up?
If the room's a little out of it, I go into the room. I start talking to the audience. Most of the time when you talk to the audience, that brings the attention to you. When you're losing the control of the room, it's because they're tuning you out. So you got to go into the room, talk to them, talk to a couple or two, get the comedy going from there, and then get back to your material.
Well, it sounds like it's gonna be a night full of non-stop laughs. So thank you so much, Tony, for hanging with us. We are hyped for the show. So Nassau, make sure you catch Tony Rock live at Bahama for 2 nights. That's Wednesday, March 25th and Thursday, March 26th. Get those tickets now because this is going to be legendary. Again, thank you so much, Tony, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. See you soon, Bahama. See you soon.
Well, after the break, missions, music, and ministry are coming together across the Bahamas. We're sharing the impact of the partnership with the National Baptist Convention USA. Keep it locked.
Bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding ding bang. Bang bang bang. Ding bang ding. Bing bang ding, ding ding bang, bang bang bang, ding bang ding, ding bang ding, ding bang ding, ding ding bang.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS network.
You already started. You turned your passion into income. Time to level up. The Tourism Development Corporation's calling entrepreneurs ages 18 to 35 to enter the Blue, Orange, and Green Economy Pitch Competition on March 30th. If you're building something connected to tourism, this is your opportunity. This is your chance. Visit tdcbahamas.com to learn more about the different economies, program eligibility, and apply by March 23rd.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. On Cat Island, we've helped 17 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $360,000 in approved funding, the SBDC is strengthening Cat Island's economy by investing in its leading sectors: agriculture, fuel, and fishing. No matter the island, every business we support strengthens the economy. Starting with yours. SBDC Bahamas.
Transformation is more than a word, it's the mission. Since 2013, Clinton Minnis Global has been leading humanitarian work and evangelism across the Bahamas. Now, the Spring Into Missions Festival is underway, impacting New Providence, Eleuthera, and San Salvador. Joining us is the CEO and visionary behind Revival in the City, Reverend Dr. Clinton Minnis, and team leader Kyla Cases and Electa Williams, the expedition leader. So Reverend Minnis, Kyla, and Electa, welcome to What's Trending.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
It's great to have you here with us. So, Reverend Minnis, let's start with you.
Yes.
Revival in the City now in its 4th year.
Yes.
So for someone who is just hearing about this for the first time, how is this project changing the landscape of the Bahamas?
It has been a wonderful experience. Revival in the City, a multifaceted, ecumenical religious approach because we believe the move of God is going to invade our institution, our churches, ultimately our communities and our nation. And this year, Overland has always been with us for 4 years.
Okay.
And supporting us, supporting pastors not only in New Providence, but throughout the family of islands. Their leader, Dr. Phil Smetters. And this year, with a little twist, the youth missionary arms, or the young people who run the organization's mission and expedition, they're here this year. And so we are excited that their coming is an advanced platform for initiating the move of God for revival in the city, which actually is April 28th through May 2nd, which is a big issue unto itself. One of our major partners coming this year is the National Baptist Convention USA Incorporated Women's Auxiliaries. We're expecting 100 women from throughout the United States, missionaries, to come here for revival in the city. And so this is the genesis of what's going to happen this year. And this type of partnership, you don't want to miss it.
It sounds very interesting. So you're taking this mission to Eleuthera and to San Salvador. And why was it a priority to include the Family Islands into the Spring Into Missions Festival? You want to take that, or you want me target that one to Kyla?
Well, I'll take it initially because what happened is their leader and founder, Dr. Phil Smetters, he has been traversing all of the islands, Eleuthera, San Salvador, Cat Island, the Abacos, Grand Bahama, and he has set the template.
So he's no stranger to the Bahamas.
He's no stranger.
Okay.
And so the reception for the leadership of Overland has been set. And so they ought to experience what he has experienced. And so we're excited about springing through the islands.
And so for you, Kyla, what can persons expect when they interact with you on these missions trips?
Yeah, I think what I'm so excited for, even just talking with Reverend Minnis, is just the initiative that he's taking with the youth on all of the different islands that we're going to. I think that, you know, the youth are kind of what ends up setting the culture in the different areas that we're going into. And so to have these different platforms that we can minister to the youth is huge. And so we're doing multiple different things. We're doing evangelism, going out into the communities and just spreading the word of Jesus. We're also doing evangelism training. And so we're coming to the already existing church, and we're saying, hey, come alongside us. Let us teach you what it looks like to share the gospel. You know, I think that a lot of times people kind of think that it's for the missionaries, it's for the pastors, it's for the evangelists to actually go out and do the work of the gospel.
Right.
But in reality, it's for every believer. And so we love doing these evangelism trainings where we can actually just kind of demystify what evangelism looks like and make it more practical, that it can be part of some of their everyday life and not just, you know, in a special event when a minister comes to town, but that they can do this regularly. So we'll do evangelism ourselves, evangelism trainings, and then we'll also have revival nights as well, where we'll have worship from our team. We will preach the word of God, and we'll have a time of ministry and equipping the believers. So that's kind of what you can expect when you come to an event with us.
And so for you, Electa, what impact do you think this expedition will have, since you're the lead for it? And I know this is your first time, as we were chatting earlier, you said this is even your first time here in country as well. So what are you hoping to take, that persons take away from this expedition?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so excited because from my personal experience, you know, my whole life changed when I encountered Jesus. It wasn't just a continued life, like lived the same. My whole perspective changed of what was available in the sacrifice of Jesus, what he made available to every single believer, and what we get to live with in that. And so when we get to have these conversations with these people, like to see their lives transformed by the power of the gospel is going to be the most amazing thing, you know, because the healing of the land, people talk about that, war and different things that are happening.
Very much
The healing of the
concerning.
land happens through the transformation of a healed heart. And how are you healed? You're healed by the power of the gospel, through Jesus, through his death and his resurrection. And I'm just so excited to see people come to know the enlightenment of what they're called to as a believer. It's not just, like Kyla said, it's not just the missionary, it's not just the pastor, but it's every single person that believes in Christ. So we're excited to see what happens, what the power of the gospel
sounds
does.
like it's going to be very powerful. And back to you, Reverend Minister, for those who are watching us, and you know you have a major registration deadline coming up on April 7. What are the main ways that the public can get involved in missions this week in April?
Well, we are setting the stage at firstbaptistnassau.org. Folks can register for Revival in the City, which is the end of April, the 28th to May 2nd. We also have World Vision is coming here with their mega trailer for massive distribution into our inner city. And this is going to be critical. We want churches to register their members to be a part of this, because this is the mobilization. And I wish to say that Spring Intermission Festival started on yesterday. Dr. Phil Smithers with us at Bahamas Faith Ministries, one of our partners, Temple Baptist Church, Pastor Jeff Wood, and then First Baptist yesterday, Pastor Diana Francis. And tonight we at Hillside Missionary Baptist Church, Bishop Lockwood Delaveau at 7 o'clock tonight and tomorrow night. And then they spring into Eleuthera on Wednesday, and they are at Cupid's Key with Pastor Kipling Johnson. And then on Wednesday, they are the administrative complex in Governor's Harbor, outdoor services. And from there, they spring in to San Salvador. They're going to be a part of New Creation Basketball Tournament, a Christian-based tournament that they're going to be a part, if I can say it, the halftime show, where Jesus is going to be glorified.
Awesome.
And then they're going to have revival outdoor under the almond tree in San Salvador.
Well, it sounds like a lot is going to be happening. So, Reverend Minister,
Yes.
Kyla, Electa, thank you all so much for joining us, and I wish you a great missions trip that will be powerful and engaging for everyone that you are a part of. So thank you so much for being with us here. So remember, if you want to be a part of the Spring Into Missions Festival or the main Revival in the City event this April, make sure you register at www.firstbaptistnassau.org. That is before April 7th deadline. Well, the Bahama Beauty is serving hot takes, viral moments, and a little bit of lotto. What's the Buzz is up next. Stay right there.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. Out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
I'm Jordan, by the way. Tom.
Sweet and spicy, marinated right, tossed with chili. Wow, wow. Garlic and ginger have many flavors, like honey barbecue.
Signature hot wings, turn up the heat for you. Those pepper wings, what's your flavor?
Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken, you know. So many flavors to try. What's your flavor? Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy, all new.
Signature hot wings.
What's your flavor? Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken, you know.
Those pepper wings.
surprise announcements to viral aromas, to big wins and even bigger relationship moments. The Bahama Beauty is back with your go-to for everything trending, talked about, and taking over your timeline.
I'm the Bahama Beauty, and here's what's the buzz for this week. From big mama to baby mama, rapper Lotto finally put all the pregnancy and relationship rumors to rest with her latest album rollout. She doubled as a pregnancy announcement. Although she didn't do a full baby daddy reveal, she didn't exactly hide his identity either, dropping quite a few clues throughout the video that confirm her relationship with rapper 21 Savage. And if that wasn't enough to convince spectators, her leaked baby shower invites would definitely do the trick. Instagram user Baby Jade posted to her stories the elaborate black and gold adorned invitations, which adorn the mama-to-be and 21's real name on the front. The internet's favorite action hero takes his rest. Legendary actor and martial artist Chuck Norris passed away at the age of 86. The actor reportedly suffered a medical emergency and was hospitalized in Hawaii last Thursday. His death was confirmed the next day. Best known for his role in Walker, Texas Ranger and a long career in action films, Norris became a global icon not just for his on-screen toughness, but for his real-life achievements as a martial arts champion. And a major win for women's basketball, the WNBA has officially reached a new collective bargaining agreement, marking a significant step forward for the league and its players. The agreement addresses key issues including player salaries, benefits, and overall working conditions, including protection from being traded while pregnant, something athletes have been advocating for years. Fans and players alike are celebrating the move, calling it progress for women's sports and a sign of continued growth for the league.
Tired of looking at the same old kitchen? Step 1. Our talented recommended designer Mark crafts a custom design just for you. Step 2. Once your design is ready, CBS Bahamas makes ordering effortless. Your dream kitchen is within reach. Step 3. Our recommended installers bring your vision to life, ensuring every detail is perfectly in place. Sit back and relax as your dream space becomes a reality. Visit cbsbahamas.com and start bringing your home improvement dreams to life today.
I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. Out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
I'm Jordan, by the way. Tom.
What's trending in business? Who's making major money moves? And how's it shaping your future? This is Economics, your front row seat to the biggest stories in business, innovation, and finance. Powered by the Sand Dollar, the digital currency of the Central Bank of the Bahamas. It's fast, secure, Bahamian. We're breaking down the numbers, the news, and what it means to you. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. for the trends, the insights, and the stories that matter. Get informed, get inspired, get in the mix with Economics. On Tuesday's show, we're diving into real and raw conversation about motherhood, burnout, and the kind of support every woman truly deserves. Well, thanks for watching. Stay connected with us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. See you later. What's trending in business? Who's making major money moves? And how's it shaping your future? This is Economics, your front row seat to the biggest stories in business, innovation, and finance. Powered by the sand dollar, the digital currency of the Central Bank of the Bahamas. It's fast, secure, Bahamian. We're breaking down the numbers.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. The government moves to acquire the Grand Bahama Power Company, but what it could mean for energy costs and the island's future. Plus, an advocate warns high energy costs are not only straining residents, but also driving away much-needed investment. And the Education Bill 2026 aims to make school compulsory for 4-year-olds and a right for every child.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
And welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the government is moving ahead with plans to acquire the Grand Bahama Power Company, a major development that could significantly impact the island's energy landscape. The Minister for Grand Bahama tabling two resolutions in the House of Assembly today, seeking approval to purchase the company's voting shares and to secure funding to support its operations. Ramiko Knowles has those details.
The Davis administration taking a major step toward bringing the Grand Bahama Power Company under government control. The Minister for Grand Bahama tabling two key resolutions in the House of Assembly today. One resolution seeking the approval for the acquisition of the company's ordinary voting shares, while the other addresses funding to support capital expenditure and day-to-day operations.
The first resolution seeks the approval of this Honorable House for the government to guarantee a borrowing of $200 million by Grand Bahama Energy Company Limited through a consortium of banks led by Standard Chartered Bank for the acquisition of all the ordinary voting shares of the Grand Bahama Power Company. The second resolution seeks the approval of this House for the government to guarantee a borrowing of $80 million from Royal Bank Bahamas Limited to assist with capital expenditure and working capital.
It's a $280 million project to be pursued through the Grand Bahama Energy Company Limited, a government-owned special purpose vehicle formed for the acquisition of the voting shares of Grand Bahama Power Company. The minister noting that the resolutions are of critical importance, emphasizing that the people of Grand Bahama have carried an energy burden for far too long.
Families across the island have had to meet electricity bills that place steady strain upon household finances. Small businesses have had to absorb costs that weaken their ability to hire, expand, and compete. Investors studying Grand Bahama have had to weigh a power structure that has too often worked against the very growth the island needs.
Minister Moxie highlighting that Grand Bahamans are paying rates significantly higher than those across the rest of the Bahamas, noting that the resolutions are more than corporate transactions. It's about creating conditions for Grand Bahama to thrive.
The people of Grand Bahama deserve to hear clearly what guides this effort. They deserve a government that sees the burden they carry and acts with purpose. They deserve a government that understands that electricity rates in Grand Bahama have long been a matter of fairness as much as a matter of economics.
Now, officials are expected to debate those resolutions in the House of Assembly on Wednesday. That debate will be led by Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, who will give full details on the government's plan. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ramiko Knowles.
Thanks, Ramiko. Well, high energy costs continue to be a major concern for Grand Bahama, with one advocate warning that it is not only impacting residents, but also turning away much-needed investment. Ramiko Knowles has the details in this report.
We have to look at
being attractive. And one of the ways is to bring down the cost of energy.
It's a conversation that many say is not happening enough, how the cost of energy is impacting investment in Grand Bahama. While the island has faced major setbacks over the years, including devastating natural disasters, there is another challenge many believe continues to hinder progress: the high cost of energy. Coalition of Concerned Citizens member Eddie Victor says lower energy costs can serve as a major incentive for investment, but the current reality is having the opposite effect.
Because our high electricity costs has actually run investors away from the island. And I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm talking about what I know, actually talking to persons who were looking at investing in Grand Bahama.
He also points to the island's history, including the closure of several hotels over the years, suggesting that high energy costs may have been a contributing factor.
All those hotels used to be not only in operation, but those hotels used to be full. And one of the things that is vital in terms of the operation of a hotel or resort is the cost of electricity.
In an effort to address the issue, the Coalition of Concerned Citizens launched a campaign advocating for lower energy costs, engaging power generation experts to assess the current state of electricity production on the island.
They were able to look at the numbers, which tells them, okay, how much fuel these generators burn, and they were able to determine that there is a model that could bring down the cost.
Victor says he supports the introduction of new electricity providers into the market, but emphasizes that any move in that direction must come with clear safeguards.
I believe it must be majority Bahamian owned, but they're well funded. They have money. And with that well-funded company working with the community of Grand Bahama, the Chamber of Commerce licensees, and the government, we should have a good, I believe, model that could work.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Rumiko Knowles.
In other news, debate continues in Parliament on the Education Bill 2026, one of three bills being considered this week. Education Minister, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, highlighted historic changes, including making pre-primary education compulsory for 4-year-old children and ensuring schooling is available to every child regardless of background. The other two bills under discussion are the Early Child Care Commission Bill 2026 and the National Youth Commission Bill. Education Minister, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, is continuing debate on the Education Bill 2026. Among its key changes, the bill makes pre-primary education compulsory starting at age 4. Experts say this helps close learning gaps early and ensures all children begin primary school ready to learn.
By making pre-primary education compulsory, this bill confirms that early childhood education is not optional. It ensures that all children enter primary school with foundational skills in language, early numeracy, social development, learning readiness.
The bill also marks the first major review of education policy in nearly 65 years. Once approved, it affirms education as a right for every child and makes the state responsible for access, quality, and equity in schooling.
This legislation, Mr. Deputy, raises up education to the highest pinnacle in our quest for human advance, undergirded by progressive policy and a targeted administrative regime to procure desired outcomes for the Bahamian child. Yes. This is not symbolic language. It is a legal and moral declaration that every child, regardless of background, ability, location, or circumstance, is entitled to education.
Hannah Martin says this legislation is more than rules and regulations. It's a modern, learner-centered approach that guarantees every child the right to a quality education.
This legislation modernizes the legislative framework by introducing updated definitions, strengthening governance, expanding compulsory education, formalizing national curriculum standards, adding homeschooling regulations, enhancing accountability mechanisms, and aligning educational administration with contemporary global practices.
Under the 1962 Act, the focus was mainly on governance, school registration, and minimum standards. The new bill, Hannah Martin says, creates a forward-looking system that puts the learner at the center with a strong focus on learning outcomes.
The Education Bill 2026 establishes that education in the Bahamas is no longer defined merely by seat time, attendance, physical location. Instead, it is defined by what students are expected to know, understand, and be able to do at each stage of their education.
Well, new concerns are being raised surrounding an incident involving students at the Holmes Rock Primary School, with families of 2 accused 5th graders now challenging how the situation was presented. Sherelle Dames has more details in this report.
We were clueless on exactly what happened. The only facts that we knew is that a girl was injured and an incident.
The parents of 2 boys at the center of an alleged school incident are now speaking out, disputing claims being made and insisting the situation is not as it has been portrayed. The matter stems from an incident at Holmes Rock Primary School where a young girl was injured, prompting her mother to raise concerns about student safety and supervision on campus.
The mother of the child, she said she is the voice for her child and nobody speaked up for her, but she was the only one who had a voice. To this day, we're still lost. We're still trying to figure out what's going on. So 2 decorated students with multiple awards and never had any track record of any misconduct with the school, all of a sudden decided one day that they're going to commit the most heinous act in this school's history. I don't buy it.
The mother of one of the accused says she has questioned her son directly and is mindful of the emotional toll this situation has taken on him, adding that she's now concerned about how these allegations can impact his future.
What happens when they go out into other schools? What happens when, even with them going out into the other schools, when their names are called? What happens? Are they even safe from the police officers? Are they going to target them? Are they going to look out for them?
Another parent also questions the accuracy of the claims, highlighting that this is not the first time something like this has occurred.
There has been other situations where she has said, things have happened to her by other students and it was untrue. So again, we're asking, where did this story come from? Was she coached into it, or why would she just make up a story like this when it didn't happen? Nobody saw it happen. None of the kids present saw it happen. The bus driver, the bus aide, the teacher that was at the gate, the security guard, all of these adults, none of them saw this happen. So where's this story coming from?
Now, Principal Alana Lindsay maintains her stance that this was an unfortunate accident and there is no bullying taking place at Holmes Rock Primary School. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Sherelle Dames.
Well, the incident spilling over into the House of Assembly as a heated exchange unfolded over the concerns of student safety in schools. Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, Glenys Hannah Martin, clashed with Member of Parliament for St. Anne's, Adrian White, over the incident at Holmes Rock Primary School. The matter arose as White contributed to debate on the bill, highlighting a number of issues affecting schools across the country, including student welfare and safety concerns.
Our news, an 8-year-old girl is in a cast after an alleged bullying incident at primary school in West Grand, Bahama.
However, the Education Minister pushed back strongly, cautioning the St. Anne's Member of Parliament against discussing matters without having full and verified information, particularly when they involve minors. The Speaker of the House of Assembly also intervened to defuse the situation, reminding members that issues involving children should be handled with care and restraint and should not be openly debated without proper context.
That incident involved other children who have parents in West Grand, Bahama. So be careful what you bring here. Yes. On that, I heard the parent of the child. I also heard the deputy, the district superintendent, and the district education officer who explained the incident in accordance with the bus driver who was there, the security officer who was there, and other members of the school's administration. Please do not come in here and cause a mischief on matters you know nothing about.
The minister, with the portfolio for education, gave an explanation to his Honorable House, and I do think that that's a sensitive topic, and it's dealing with minors, and we have to be careful how we handle the business of children.
From From police in Albuquerque are investigating a theft that occurred on Sunday, March 22nd, 2026, shortly after 9:30 a.m. at a freight terminal on George Albury Boulevard. Initial reports indicate that the complainant reported to the police that unknown individuals gained access to the facility and stole 2 lower units from 2 300 HP 4-stroke Yamaha engines. The engines were mounted on a white Intrepid vessel bearing registration number FL2685RE. Each unit is valued at approximately $50,000. This matter remains under active police investigations. Meanwhile, police urging any...
And still to come.
The Bahamas Customs Department marks 112 years with a prayer breakfast celebrating service and community. We'll have that story, sports, and more when we return.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this one, sis.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
It's a big weekend at Dolly Madison on March 27th and 28th. It's Dolly's excellent early Easter deals. Get 25% off store-wide. It's the perfect time to get everything you need to spring into the next season. That's March 27th and 28th. 25% off the entire store. Now that's some excellent savings. Open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Dolly Madison.
Island Manor Farm Store, in partnership with Prosperina AgTech, present Raised Bed Gardening Training. 3 weeks of hands-on learning for just $100. Classes start April 28th. Call 727-5222 to register. Big savings are here. The Do It Center is having a 2-day store-wide sale. Enjoy 20% off store-wide. Plus Saturday only, get 30% off kitchen cabinets. Happening March 27th through the 28th from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Visit them today on Grand Bahama Highway. Do It Center. Let's get it done. Jackie's Bakery and Catering's hot cross buns are back March 30th to April 2nd. Fresh, delicious, and going fast. No orders, first come, first serve. Get yours at Jackie's Bakery or at Express Food Mart on Coral Road or Vallejo Road. Don't miss out. Don't miss Third Dimension's pre-Easter store-wide sale. Get 20% off store-wide and 15% off tiles, March 27th and 28th. Shop in store on Yellow Pine Street or online at thirddimension242.com. Third Dimension, everything you need for less.
Save more drugs, from cosmetics to prosthetics. What you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, vitamins you need, and prescriptions you came for. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs. Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The Bahamas Department of Customs marks a significant milestone, celebrating 112 years of service with a prayer breakfast. The event, held at the Customs Department in the C.A. Smith Building, featured prayers for families, our nation, and the Customs Department, as well as songs of praise. Senior Deputy Comptroller of Customs, Whitney Kenny, shared brief remarks highlighting the department's commitment to service.
As we celebrate this anniversary, we honor the generations of officers who have carried forward the responsibility with professionalism, discipline, and dedication. Their work ensures that the Bahamas remains secure, prosperous, and connected to the global trading system. May we continue to uphold this proud tradition of service for generations to come.
Senior Customs Officer Barry Morris shared a reflective message, noting the remarkable evolution of the department since its inception under British colonial rule in 1914.
It's amazing how times have changed and things are so different. Could you imagine those who started off without the technologies that we have today, what customs is probably like on the first day? A nickname for the Customs Department was Tide Waiters. And the reason why they were called tide waiters is because they had to wait until the tide lifted to bring the ship into shore that the goods could be taken off of the ship, properly examined, and taxes collected. Could you imagine we still have to wait on that today?
Now, the department also gave back to the community, donating grocery items to 2 local soup kitchens, spreading love and kindness in the midst of their celebrations. And it is time now for your Health is Wealth Monday tip.
Cervical cancer is considered the second most frequent cause of cancer in women in the Bahamas. Various strains of the human papillomavirus, or HPV for short, a sexually transmitted infection, may play a role in causing most cervical cancers. When exposed to HPV, a woman's immune system prevents the virus from doing harm in most cases. In a small group of women, however, the virus survives for years and eventually causes some cells to become cancer cells. You can lower your risk of developing cervical cancer by having regular pap smears, which can detect small changes in the cervix before they become cancerous, and by being vaccinated against HPV. Vaccination is available for girls and women and is most effective if given to girls before they become sexually active. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and remember, your greatest wealth is your health.
We salute our Facebook friend of the day, Leonie Minis Banaby. We thank you so much for your support. And that's a look at stories making news. Shane, what's happening in sports?
Well, Devin Charlton had an historic weekend. Plus, we had the Carifta trials over the weekend. A very adrenaline-packed weekend.
Thanks, Shane. Well, sports comes your way next, right after the break.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Psst. Guess what? Budget Pest Control has something important to show you. Cocta termites formisalis, the super termite. What makes them super? Their ferocious appetite can attack your home from below and above. They even attack forestry. But don't worry. Budget Pest Control has extensively studied this species on Grand Bahama. You can even check out our scientific paper. So you can count on us to protect your investment. Call Budget Pest Control, the termite specialist.
Save more drugs. We got you. From cosmetics to prosthetics. What you need for your family. The brands you're looking for. The quality you expect. The prices you need and deserve. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Welcome to the ZNS Total Sports Cave, everyone. I'm Shane Stubbs. It was an historic weekend for Devin Charlton, who pulled off the proverbial hat-trick in track and field. She won her 3rd straight World Indoor title in the 60-meter hurdles over at the 2026 World Indoor Championships in Poland.
I knew I had something like that in me. It was all about just executing a good race. As it turns out, it wasn't so good of an execution, kind of stumbled at the start, but I was able to pull it together and get the job done.
Not only that, Charlton equaled her world record time of 7.65 seconds, a feat she accomplished at the World Indoor Championships back in 2024. Now she's got her mind fixed on carrying that momentum into the outdoor arena.
Outdoor is a different beast. There are 2 different events, and I think I'm well suited to indoor, and so I think the focus from here is just building up the latter half of my race so that I'm just as effective outdoor.
In more track and field updates, following the conclusion of the B3A's Carifta trials over in New Providence, the 2026 Carifta team is expected to be ratified any moment now. Of course, the top two in each event earns their spot on the team. Kiesra Thomas did just that in the under-17 girls 400 meters, as well as the 200. Taking first place in both events, she clocked 55.46 seconds in the 400 and 23.69 seconds in the 200. Zion Bradford would do the same on the under-17 boys side of things, winning the 400 meters in a personal time of 48.88 seconds, as well as the 200, clocking 21.87 seconds. Now for the 200 meters, Avante Lockmore would finish second behind Bradford, also landing him a spot on the team. He finished that race in 21.90 seconds.
Did all right with the execution. I got a little bit dizzy on the straight. Had to get it together to come back and win the race. So God is good. I was able to lock in number one spot to qualify. Got to keep on working so I could drop my time so I'd be able to go to Grenada and get the gold.
Now we will have a full breakdown of the team in a later newscast. In Grand Bahama Basketball Association playoff action, the Dudley boys took game one of their best-of-5 semifinal series versus the Connect Shipping Jets. They dominated this one 104-79. Shamar Pinder led the way with 23 points, 6 boards, and 4 dimes. Raymond Higgs led the Jets with 25 points and 9 boards in the loss. Game 2 of that contest takes place later this evening. Meanwhile, the Pizza Hut Lions completed their 2-0 sweep of the Fugees, 71-61. Ahmad Pratt paced the Lions with 23 points and 17 boards. As for the Fugees, Keyshawn Rule finished with 19 in the loss. And finally, a score from Week 5 of Grand Bahama Little League. In 8U action, the Red Sox outlasted the Lions 5-3. In 10U play, the Bahama Rock Miners got the W over the Royals 11-2. Across on the 12U Diamond, the Tigers shuttled the Silver Line Builders Lions 10-0, and the Yankees would score a victory over the Lions in a close one, 6-5. And that's your sports fix this evening. Your local forecast is next. I'm Shane Stubbs. Catch you all on the rebound.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
At Save More Drugs, we got you. We got what you want. We got what you need. We got what you came for. The quality you expect. The prices you need and deserve. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Can't be happening, boy. No, man.
What happened, boy?
Hey, Michael, that's you?
Yeah, that's me, but don't Michael me. It looks like we got a flat tire situation.
Wait,
here.
you wouldn't believe. I just got this tire 3 days ago, and the thing done flat.
I feel your pain, but let me tell you something. Let me help you. People don't buy them kind of tires no more. People smart today. Let me help you. Go to KMW Batteries and Tires on West Settlers Way.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you can get a brand new tire now for a few dollars more or even less. Now, it's a lucky day for you because I got their number right here. Okay. Call them now because you're going to need their road service.
Thank you, Michael. Right now.
KMW Battery and Tire, West Settlers Way. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. 351-2595.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis.
I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight. They're coming your way next.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the country's education policy to undergo its first comprehensive review in decades. Tune in to find out the initiatives policymakers seek to implement to achieve the desired outcome. Plus, hear the message the Prime Minister left with South Androsians this past weekend. And we have the details of a multi-million-dollar investment in cancer care in the face of daunting statistics. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. An historic shift in education. Debate opened this morning on a sweeping new education bill, a measure hailed as the most significant in recent times. The proposed legislation aims to modernize learning, strengthen standards, and better prepare students for a rapidly changing world. Leah Cooper fills us in with the details.
Education Minister, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, leading off debate on a broad compendium of bills, making it plain that this isn't a legal tidy-up. It's a complete rewrite of how the country treats children, schooling, and the state's responsibility to both.
This legislation, Mr. Deputy, raises up education to the highest pinnacle in our quest for human advance, undergirded by progressive policy and a targeted administrative regime to procure desired outcomes for the Bahamian child. Yes. This is not symbolic language. It is a legal and moral declaration that every child, regardless of background, ability, location, or circumstance, is entitled to education.
A key component of the legislation will change the primary and mandatory age to begin school from 5 to now 4 years old. Minister Hannah Martin notes that this landmark move will have far-reaching benefits for young learners.
This provision recognizes what educators, parents, and researchers have long known. The early years are critical. Learning gaps formed early are difficult to reverse. Yes. Early investment delivers lifelong benefits. By making pre-primary education compulsory, this bill confirms that early childhood education is not optional. It ensures that all children enter primary school with foundational skills in language, early numeracy, social development, learning readiness.
The education bill also seeks to develop and enforce a national curriculum with measurable learning outcomes for both public and private schools.
The Education Bill 2026 establishes that education in the Bahamas is no longer defined merely by seat time, attendance, physical location. Instead, it is defined by what students are expected to know, understand, and be able to do at each stage of their education.
The bill also moves to regulate homeschooling for the first time in a clear legal way. Parents would still be allowed to teach their children at home, but they should have to register, meet minimum standards, and show that learning is actually happening.
This framework protects children's right to an education, supports parents through clarity rather than uncertainty, brings home education into the national education family. This is about partnership, not punishment, and about ensuring every child's education counts.
The minister hails this piece of legislation as a forward-looking regime that incorporates the era in which we live. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Leah Cooper.
Now, ahead of that debate, Minister of Grand Bahama and Pine Ridge MP, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, sought Parliament's approval for 2 resolutions to borrow $280 million. The first requests $200 million to acquire all the ordinary voting shares of the Grand Bahama Power Company. The second, $80 million to assist with capital expenditure and working capital. The resolutions come as high energy costs on that island is said to be a key barrier to its full recovery. The government then reasons that a stronger energy framework would help reduce pressure on families.
There's a wider principle at stake here. Government has a duty where the public burden grows too heavy to use the lawful tools available to bring relief, restore confidence, and create better conditions for growth. That is what these resolutions seek to do. They give shape to a serious effort to align energy policy with the needs of the people and the economic future of Grand Bahama. They support a path towards stronger oversight, better planning, and a clearer public purpose in an area that affects every home, every enterprise, and every investment decision on the island.
House members also got an update today on additional initiatives to expand housing opportunities and further advance efforts to regularize communities. Housing Minister, the Honourable Keith Bell, tabled 2 resolutions in this regard regarding land in Pitt Road, where dozens of families occupy 3 acres of land without clear title, the second over in Exuma.
Through this resolution, we are moving to transfer over 60 acres of land in Georgetown to the Minister of Housing for the development of a structured, multi-phase residential community. Way to go, Exuma. When completed, this development is expected to yield in excess of 200 residential lots.
Meantime, a multi-million-dollar lift station project is expected to bring some relief to Coral Harbor's long-standing flooding woes. Our LaDon Davis has more on the story.
Tractors digging trenches and active work along Coral Harbor Road signals the start of the first phase of a $4.4 million lift station project by the Ministry of Works. For years, residents have suffered severe flooding, with some 2.5 million gallons of water being pumped from their neighborhoods during the rainy and hurricane seasons. Chief Engineer Francis Clark explains that the area is a natural wetland and increased residential development has obstructed the water's natural flow. He says he is confident that this flood mitigation project will provide much-needed relief to affected residents.
The drainage water will go into a lift station, and we will be pulling that water using this lift station, which is a pump system, and discharging it into the canal. So this is a system that's not going to be running 24 hours. They use this type of system in Florida. Florida is flatter than the Bahamas, and so they use a system of canals, detention ponds, and pump system to pull the water.
Clark says residents and motorists should take precautionary measures while in the area. As a second phase, the installation of the force mains should begin in a matter of days.
The force main is a 10-inch pipe that will be installed about 36 inches below the existing pavement, and the alignment will be towards the existing canal.
But the big question above all, will this $4.4 million lift project cause contamination of the water tables or sinking of the holes here in the Coral Harbor area? Well, Chief Engineer Francis Clark responded like this.
We don't expect any sinkholes to arise. We don't expect it to be an issue with respect to contamination because we are installing a water quality unit.
Clark anticipates that the lift station project will be completed in December of this year, and the pilot project should start in Pinewood Gardens sometime in April. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDon Davis.
Well, Prime Minister and Progressive Liberal Party leader, the Honourable Philip Davis, continuing his appeal to supporters to get ready for the upcoming general election. Bringing remarks at the opening of the party's branch office in the Central and South Andros constituency this past weekend, he again aroused public speculation that the country could very soon be headed to the polls.
We are on election watch. The bell is being shined. And it will be rung very shortly.
The Prime Minister again cautioned supporters that despite internal polling showing the PLP leading over its challenges, now is not the time to rest on their laurels. In fact, he urged that they all get involved and begin doing the work needed to secure victory.
This is all hands on deck time. There's no time for complacency. This is time for knocking on doors. This is phone calling time. This is voter transfer time. This is voter registration time. This is branch mobilization time. This is settlement by settlement, household by household, street by street work. Because elections are lost when supporters begin to act like victory already belongs to them. Victory belongs to the side that stays hungry.
A multi-million-dollar investment in cancer care. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. choose CD. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
John, I just found out that KFC has an irresistible promo.
Crunch into the juicy flavor of the new KFC Wrap Star, a classic made modern that's crunchy, melty, and grilled to perfection for all the journeys of your day. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
It's back. Agri-expo 2026, presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, April 10th through 12th at the Gladstone Road Agriculture Center. Agriculture, our heritage, our future, comes alive with the latest farming technologies, exciting cooking demonstrations and competitions, Bahamian farmers and vendors from across the islands, fun for the kids at the kitty corner, nightly musical concerts, and free admission for everyone. Bring the whole family and celebrate what feeds our nation. Agri-expo 2026. Let's get growing.
Are you self-employed or have a small business that's looking for a faster, easier way to submit your C10 statements and pay NIB contributions? Sign up for the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today. It's quick, secure, and takes just 5 simple steps. You will need a completed R1 business registration form and 2 forms of ID, a passport, voter's card, NIB card, or driver's license. Choose your role and enter your info, NI number, employer's NI number, name, and date of birth. Hit next. Enter your email, check your inbox for the code, then type it in to verify. Upload the R1 form and your 2 forms of ID and tap submit. Track your application anytime by tapping check status. Once approved, you'll get your confirmation and PIN by email within 24 to 72 hours. Return to the app, tap register now, set your login details and enter your final code. That's it. You're now ready to manage your NIB contributions anytime, anywhere. Self-employed persons, small business owners. Skip the line, save time. Download the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today.
It's back. Agri-expo 2026, presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, April 10th through 12th at the Gladstone Road Agriculture Center. Agriculture, our heritage, our future, comes alive with the latest farming technologies, exciting cooking demonstrations and competitions, Bahamian farmers and vendors from across the islands, fun for the kids at the kitty corner, nightly musical concerts, and free admission for everyone. Bring the whole family and celebrate what feeds our nation. Agri-expo 2026. Let's get growing.
New roads and airports are connecting our islands. Energy reform is bringing electricity prices down, while young Bahamians are stepping up, gaining new skills for new opportunities. Respect for workers. Support for entrepreneurs. We're modernizing energy and infrastructure across our islands and preparing Bahamians to succeed in a new economy. Transformations this big take time. Let's choose progress.
Well, you're looking at a shot there of West Bay Street. The Westridge Shopping Plaza is on the left, heading towards Sandy Port, and that shot courtesy of our drone pilot, Shane Gibson. Welcome back. A $5 million commitment could soon transform the way cancer patients in the Bahamas receive care in the face of daunting developments. Samaya Moss takes it from here.
Nearly 44% of breast cancer patients diagnosed in the Bahamas between 2024 and 2025 were already between stages 3 and 4, according to statistics from the Cancer Society of the Bahamas. It's a stark reminder of the growing cancer burden facing the country. That growing need is now driving a major investment in cancer care. A $5 million contract was signed with Coastline Construction on Monday to expand the Cancer Society's Caring Center. The alliance adds 10 more rooms, bringing the facility's total capacity from 10 to 20. General Surgeon and immediate past president of the Cancer Society, William Shea, believes the troubling trend, combined with the increasing number of patients seeking assistance, has placed significant pressure on the organization.
The number of patients with cancer is on the rise. And also, too, the cost of cancer care is so exorbitant in the Bahamas, and a lot of people don't have monies or insurances to pay for that, especially the ones from the family island.
And that demand for space is growing tremendously, particularly as more patients travel from the family islands to New Providence for treatment. The agreement also introduces hospice care, marking the first time this level of compassionate end-of-life assistance will be available in the Bahamas.
We don't think there's any pure hospice care in the Bahamas for cancer patients themselves. And our thought process was that once we have these new rooms built, the present existing rooms can then be turned into hospice-type care for patients who need it. So that's in the planning stage, and we'll get to that when we plan in the future.
Cancer Society officials maintain the fight against cancer will ultimately depend on greater public awareness, early screening, and continued national support for those affected by the disease. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Amaya Moss.
Well, an off-duty police officer reportedly made a split-second decision to defend himself after being attacked by a man armed with a cutlass. We understand the officer was walking south along Village Road with a group of people shortly after one Monday morning when he got into an argument with a male motorist traveling north. Now, the situation escalated when the motorist allegedly left his vehicle, brandished a cutlass, and struck the officer on the back, causing injury. In response, the officer reportedly withdrew his service weapon and fired, fatally wounding the attacker. Ahead of proceedings in the House of Assembly, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, told reporters private citizens have the right to defend themselves.
If somebody attacks you with a cutlass, not only the police, but a private citizen has a right to defend themselves. I don't know what the injuries are for the officer. I'm told that he is in hospital with injuries. I'm told that the gentleman in the plantation incident does not have injuries. It will depend on the threat that faces you. It's governed by what is justifiable force set out in the penal code. And so, as I say, the police will investigate. If they find that there's cause to levy criminal charges, they will levy criminal charges, as they did, for instance, against the police officer who shot and killed a young man in Exuma. If there isn't any case for criminal charges, then they forward it on to the coroner.
Meantime, U.S. Embassy officials here in the capital are urging the government to ensure that the victim involved in Saturday's police-involved shooting receives justice and without delay. That victim, a U.S. citizen. Now, based on preliminary investigations, an officer was at a West Bay Street establishment just before 6 p.m. when an altercation that began inside spilled outside. During the incident, one of the individuals reportedly jumped into the vehicle and drove it toward the officer. Fearing for his life, the officer withdrew his service weapon reportedly and fired a single shot, fatally wounding the driver. Closely monitoring the incident, embassy officials say they are deeply concerned, having noted media reports that the officer followed the unarmed victim to his vehicle before fatally shooting him. The matter's under active police investigations. Well, on a lighter note this evening, the country's first artificial intelligence ambassador highlights the benefits of AI and why the Bahamas needs to position itself to benefit from the transformative technology. Here's Fern Carey with the details.
With artificial intelligence rapidly transforming the global landscape, local stakeholders in the sector believe it is critical for small island developing states like the Bahamas to be a part of the discussions on the rules governing AI, while also lobbying for better access to the emerging technology. Ambassador at Large for Technology and Artificial Intelligence, His Excellency Gregory Mikula, notes the move is necessary to ensure the country keeps pace with cutting-edge advancements in the digital economy.
Fair access to AI is very important for us because there's a lot of big countries that have a lot of access, and we need fair access. We just got to keep getting in the discussions. We have to keep being part of the discussion. And this isn't just me, by the way. This is the entire Foreign Affairs Corps. Other ambassadors, ambassador to UN, especially with Stan Smith. We are all banding together to make sure we're part of those discussions.
While AI offers numerous benefits, there are also mounting concerns that the technology will replace jobs.
I implore everyone to start using AI, right? AI is like a superpower. Right? Using AI is like having a superpower. It enhances us. It enhances our knowledge, our access to knowledge. Think of, the ability to be able to be more efficient at your job, to write a better email, to do research quicker. It's not about replacing us, it's about enhancing us. And sure, some jobs may go, but not enough to make a difference, and those jobs will be replaced by other jobs. So there's going to be opportunity for new jobs.
Properly regulating AI is also a global issue, and the Bahamas, like other countries, has taken a legislative route to addressing the matter.
Locally, it is definitely something that we're looking at. We do have regulation coming through with the data protection bill that's been tabled, and other bills that will come through with cybersecurity, and we have great bones in place already. And we're building on top of that.
The ambassador also highlighted the benefits of AI, which include transforming health and education and making work more efficient. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Sweet and spicy, marinated right, tossed with chili. Wow, wow. Garlic and ginger have many flavors, like honey barbecue.
Signature hot wings, turn up the heat for you. Those pepper wings, what's your flavor?
Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken, you know. So many flavors to try. What's your flavor? Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy, all new.
Signature hot wings.
What's your flavor? Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken, you know.
Those pepper wings.
Introducing the Easy Renew portal, brought to you by the National Insurance Board. Renewing your national insurance card has never been easier.
I can renew our cards right from the comfort of our home.
And it's so convenient.
Wow.
Whether you're at work or studying hard at the library, even when you're on the go or enjoying retirement.
This is so easy.
Day or night, the Easy Renew portal is there for you. Easy Renew portal. Convenience at your fingertips.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Welcome to BPATH. Come with me. I want to give you a quick tour of the Bahamas Polytechnic Accreditation and Training Hub. Come on in. I'm excited. You're going to keep me in shape today. BPATH will offer classes in AI, robotics, engineering, solar energy, family and consumer science, hybrid mechanics. This is going to be a center of excellence. BPATH grads will receive professional credentials, making them certified and job ready. I wish I brought my tennis shoes. The education really is about how we develop the potential of young people, but also how we fuel their aspirations. It's going to be great. BPATH is on its way. Registration is opening soon. Look forward to seeing you there.
The
Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training advises the public that the registration process of the 2026-2027 school year for public school students has commenced. Parents are urged to register their children before the deadline of the 31st of March, 2026. Here's what you'll need: your child's proof of identity, immunization card, their most recent transcript or report card, parents or guardians' proof of identity. Register before the deadline to ensure a seamless transition into the new school year. Don't delay. Register today.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
What's the Bahamas tonight without a temperature check in on what's going on in Access Now? And for that, we're going to throw it to Royston and Marlena.
Well, good evening, Makushla. Today, of course, is March 23rd, numerically important. But what does 2, 3, 5, and 7 have in common? That's a question for both of you.
I'm going to toss that to you, Kush.
Kush, 2, 3, 5, and 7, what do they have in common?
Prime, odd numbers.
Oh! And that is a prime example of a great mathematician because today is World Math Day. You are the winner.
There you go. And speaking of prime examples, we've got a prime example of some great entertainment on the way. This time not about maths, but The Mass.
The Mass.
It's a Broadway-style musical on our way, talking about the Anglican Church, and we'll be talking to the writer, producer, and even one of the actresses tonight. So stay tuned to hear more about that. I can't wait to see it first. I love a musical.
Oh, good stuff over there in Access Now. I love Broadways. Don't know about math, but I love Broadways. Stay with us, the Bahamas tonight. The National Report continues after this.
Whether you need life insurance, an endowment plan, or health insurance, BAF has you for all stages of your life.
Get ready to laugh. Tony Rock joins What's Trending for an exclusive chat about his comedy journey, latest projects, and his upcoming show at Bahamar. That's Monday, March 23rd at 6 p.m. Catch it live.
You already started. You turned your passion into income. Time to level up. The Tourism Development Corporation's calling entrepreneurs ages 18 to 35 to enter the Blue, Orange, and Green Economy Pitch Competition on March 30th. If you're building something connected to tourism, this is your opportunity. This is your chance. Visit tdcbahamas.com to learn more about the different economies, program eligibility, and apply by March 23rd.
Introducing Valvoline Restore and Protect, a first-of-its-kind innovation that returns pistons to factory clean, removing up to 100% of deposits, restoring your engine to perform like new. All new Restore and Protect, another first by Valvoline, distributed by Battery and Tire Specialists.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
It's definitely the time for BAMSI to continue to build on the progress that we've made. There's now drone technology. There's now year-round container farming. You have hydroponics. You have aquaponics. You have precision farming. There have been record numbers of enrollments, record numbers of flat fishing certifications. We've had record enrollments in our online courses. Students from across the family of islands because in Bamsi, we're not just cultivating produce, we're cultivating producers.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
At the recent Bahamian Music and Heritage Festival in Exuma, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, as well as Bahamian performing artists, Iron Store and Funky D, spoke to the cultural heart of the event.
This is the 20th Bahamian Music and Heritage Festival. Started right here, continued for the last 20 years. This is about rhythm and resilience. This is about art and culture. This is about domestic tourism and the economy here in Exuma. Our vendors have done very well over the last 20 years. And this event is a signal of what the Ministry of Tourism do all across the country. This is one of my favorite festivals, and I am delighted at this time to be the Minister of Tourism as we celebrate 20 years of this Exuma Festival. Supporting our artists means supporting our culture. Our culture is who we are, and we must continue to teach it in our schools, celebrate it at festivals like this one, and support our creative artists at every occasion we possibly can.
I feel like Bahamian music is so important. This is all we have, bro. This is us. And I always say that no one could do what we do, but we could do what everyone else do. That's how important our culture is.
You know, it's always a pleasure when you come and you have all of your, it's like everybody gives you a different little piece of what the culture is about. Music is me. I live, eat, sleep, drink music. And the culture of the Bahamas is like, always give me a great, that's what gives me energy. The culture and the people, that's what it's all about.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Election fever is in the air. North Andros gets a new constituency office. Find out who's next.
Plus, RBC putting some youngsters to the test with a program that not only sharpens their leadership, but also their team-building skills. Those details straight ahead.
Also, a new art exhibit opens at Bahamar, and it's one critics say is a must-see. Stay close for that.
And in sports, the 2026 B3A's Carifta Trials were this weekend.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
Good evening, I'm Royston Jones.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now.
Welcome indeed. Now, there's something about a Monday evening. You've made it through the first work day for most.
Yeah.
You're finding your rhythm and you're sort of looking forward to the week ahead.
Yeah, and it's kind of that point also where you begin to see what that week ahead might be, if it's going to be busy or balanced or somewhere in between or just complete chaos. And you're like, I'm going to start taking my multivitamins now.
We always love a bit of chaos and definitely taking multivitamins. Yeah. And with World Math Day being observed, it seems like we're all just trying to make the numbers add up and, so to speak, balance the books. We've got a lot in store for you this week, so let's get started. The Progressive Liberal Party wrapping up its campaign in North Andros constituency this past weekend with the opening of its party's constituency headquarters. Incumbent MP Leonardo Lightbourne is vying for a second term in office, and he appreciated the North Andros residents who came out to show their support.
To listen to the people of North Andros, to hear what still needs to be done, to hear what you want done, and to make your voice continue to be heard. Because leadership is not talking at the people. Leadership is working with the people.
The North Andros MP even received high-level party support from former leader and Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Perry Christie, Chairman, the Honourable Fred Mitchell, and current PLP leader, Prime Minister, the Honourable Philip Davis.
It is therefore for you, 1 minute,
not just to understand your potential, but to encourage your leaders to recognize that we must do a little bit more to move our economy further and upward.
The Progressive Liberal Party, writ large across the nation, is proud of the work of the next generation of leaders of our country. And that is what he is going to be boosted to be if he gets his second term.
North Andros has land, people, drive, and promise. It has promise, pride, and strategic value. These communities can do so much with the right support, the right partner in Parliament, and the right government working for them. That is why Leonardo is my man of business.
Meanwhile, 30 students from 5 local high schools are getting the opportunity to develop innovative solutions to climate and community challenges, all thanks to RBC's Young Leaders program. Over the next 3 months, the students will work in teams of 6 to conceptualize and develop sustainability-focused projects aligned with this year's theme, Resilient by Design, Innovating for Climate and Community. And get this, when the program ends, the top 3 teams will receive cash prizes between $5,000 and $15,000 to help bring their ideas to life. Managing Director and Vice President, Personal Banking for the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, Erica Roll, implored the young leaders not to just focus on leadership itself, but to concentrate on their ability to lead.
This is your moment. Use this opportunity to find your voice. Ask bold questions, challenge ideas, learn from mentors, learn from each other, and most importantly, don't be afraid to think big.
For the challenge, participants recently attended a training session led by a group of RBC professionals. Senior Regional Enablement Coach and Program Lead Marcus Hutchison was one of them.
And here's what you will actually learn from being a part of this wonderful program. Financial literacy and budgeting, skills you'll use forever. Real project management experience, the kind that employers actually value. Real presentation skills and confidence that's going to help you succeed wherever you go.
Now this is holding Seawater from the Sea. That's the name of the new solo art exhibition at the current art gallery, highlighting the work of freelance artist Dee Dee Brown, who explores themes of nature, identity, and the female form. Using sea fan coral and digital photography with a mix of hand embellishments, Brown examines the female body as a vessel of emotions, holding memory, grief, and healing, all resembling the complicated feelings women often face. Growing up around Bahamian women and embracing the complexities of womanhood, the expert provides an inside look at female evolution.
I have 2 sisters, and I very often will represent them in my work as a means of just representing, you know, I think our Bahamianness, our feminine, our femaleness, and I look to my sisters because they're my best friends and they're my muses, and so they end up being used in the work quite often.
Beyond its focus on femininity, the exhibition also speaks to a broader connection between humans and nature, using materials to symbolize how life is always tied to the simplicity of the ocean.
I have full figures, female figures, with the sea fan merged with the body, so you're seeing it represented as wings, as a headdress, and it's an extension of the body, and I'm just, in a sense, I'm showing that we are all basically of nature from the sea, and be it sea fan coral and human form. And so I'm merging them together and representing them in floating in underwater themes.
Such beautiful pieces, and with nearly 2 years of dedication towards developing the exhibition, the 10 final pieces displayed represent not only artistic growth, but a very personal journey, one Brown hopes will resonate emotionally with all in attendance.
So much of what I create happens subconsciously, and I'm not in charge. I'm just the vessel that it comes through, and a lot of the response that I get from people is that the work is very emotive, and the energy of it draws people in, and for me, that's a very rewarding part of the process.
Still to come, a first-of-its-kind Anglican musical is set to put a new spin on how we view the religious service. Stay tuned for that. And of course, Diane Dorset has your Access weather forecast, so stay close.
Deputy Prime Minister and a Member of Parliament for Exoma and Ragged Island Constituency, the Honourable I. Chester Cooper, along with Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, Works Minister, the Honourable Clay Sweeting, and a team of officials recently visited Ragged Island. During the visit, officials were welcomed by Principal Alice Ramming and students during a Commonwealth Day assembly.
We wish to extend a warm welcome to all who are visiting here with us today as we celebrate Commonwealth Day under the theme Unlocking Opportunities Together for a Prosperous Commonwealth.
I am so happy to always be able to brag that I came from the public school system. So I may tell you that the same way I've been able to succeed and become Deputy Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, you can do anything.
Minister Hannah Martin stressed the vital importance of equity within the Bahamian education system.
The song says, "This land is my land, from Grenfell down to Wingers, from Berry Island across to Lake Warner. This land is made for you and me." But in that chain is Ragged Island. And even though there are only 5 or 6 or 10, whatever the number is in this community, we have to ensure that we have equity as best we can.
Director Dominique McCartney-Russell echoed those sentiments.
Here at Ragged Island All-Age School, with our 5 students, we see the living proof of the ministry's unwavering commitment that every child in every class in every school must have access to quality education.
Jonalie McIntosh for Ed Talk.
Royston, a very good Monday evening to you as we start a new week. It's time now for your Access weather forecast. Your quick look at what's shaping our weather for the next few days. Stable weather conditions. That's what we can look forward to this week. Our satellite picture shows mostly clear skies across the northwest and the central Bahamas, with some low-level clouds over the southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands. Taking a look at your boating forecast. In the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through Wednesday, winds will be light and variable with seas at 1 to 3 feet. We'll get a high tide at 12:25 in the morning, followed by a low tide at 6:56. Then in the southeast Bahamas, winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 knots, with seas at 2 to 4 feet. It's time now for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Well, don't you know that while you out looking for sugar, someone can taste your honey? Don't you know that while you out looking for sugar, someone can taste your honey? They say what's good for the rat, it's good for the cat. And you know damn well that's how things go. With you, she can know. With she, you have no clue that somebody...
That was your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. And that wraps up your Access weather forecast. But join me again at 11 for a full weather update. Have a great evening, everyone. Melina, Royston.
As always, thanks so much, Diane. Now, a Broadway-style musical production called The Mass is coming your way, put on by the Anglican Diocese of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands. The Mass seeks to explore the age of old and new in the Anglican Church using dialogue, modern genres of music, and dance. And here to tell us more about it, are writer and producer Philip Gray and actress Nikita Thompson.
Welcome to Access Now.
It's our pleasure to be here today.
Now, we had a story about this just a couple of weeks ago, but obviously it's so much better to get to ask all the questions in person now. Tell us, Philip, how did the Mass come to be?
So, about 4 years ago, when we were coming out of COVID, I had an epiphany, an experience in church, and the voice was saying to me, the young people deserve some genres of music. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, but how would I do that? Because I write music. And it was like, put it in the form of a musical. And I had another question, and then the presence disappeared.
It was like your appointment.
But after that, I started getting wake-up calls by God. 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would hear the music in my ears.
Wow.
So I call it the sound of heaven because the music is actually that good. And I know with my limited talent, I couldn't produce that all on my own. But the music is pure and beautiful, and I think it's an exciting work. We have an amazing cast of the top Bahamian, whether there is in classical music and or gospel or praise and worship music. Those persons are performing in this. We have an orchestra of 21 persons that is going to really blow the stage. Mr. Robert Bain is the lead choreographer, and he has 8 dancers who are going to appear on stage, professionals.
Yes.
So we have claimed this, and we believe this to be true, that this is going to be comparable to the best musicals on Broadway.
But before the
Bahamas is...
Sorry? I want to cut in just to ask you, because I know it's important. This, of course, includes other genres, calypso, junkanoo, and many other genres. And I wanted to ask you, maybe Takia can answer this as well, as to why that's so important for this Mass.
I think the importance of the different genres that we're including in the Mass production is the fact that it does speak to the divide between the old traditional music and that of the young people.
Yes.
And so they are a lot more open to the different types of music, calypso, reggae, jazz.
Worship can have many sounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
that has been quite a bit of an influence from that
And extremely
perspective.
inclusive for all.
Yes.
I want to further add to that, that whilst the Anglican Church has an Anglo-Saxon background, missionaries came to the Bahamas from the European, and obviously their genre of music would be classical and more conservative. But in ATAS, people of pigmentation, we resonate with the drum. So when junkanoo licks up, what we do, we immediately we can't help but respond. When reggae or calypso or salsa music, we feel the vibe, we feel the beat. And so, as our bishop has said in certain quarters, that our God is so big that he cannot be limited to any one or two genres of music. This musical explores what I say resonates with the Bahamian diaspora, our African heritage, and it also resonates and understands the beauty of mingling the classical with music that is innate to us. And I also say, from our young people's perspective, and I use this line, what may offend the saved or the saints
might pull in
and save the sinner. And so we must be open to exploring all types.
I think that's so true, because I think it's definitely going to bring in people that aren't not even just members of the Anglican Church, but also just members of any church, just out of curiosity. So, Nikita, can you tell us when it's going to be, where we can get our tickets, all of that good stuff?
Sure. So this phenomenal production will take place in the New Providence Ballroom at the Grand Hyatt, Bahama, April 17th and 18th. So on the 17th, it's our gala dinner and show. It starts with cocktail reception at 6 p.m. and then showtime is 8 p.m. Right? Awesome. And then on Saturday, we have a special matinee show just for students. So as long as you provide your student ID or some form of uniform from the school, then the price is amenable to students. And we're very, very excited about that, because it is a production that incorporates the youth or the young people. So that was very important to us.
And up to university level.
Yes,
students.
and up to university as well. Yes.
Where can people get their tickets at?
Yes, so we have tickets online at eticketslive.com.
Beautiful.
Yes, and then we have a box office at Quality Care Pharmacy, which is on Paradise Island.
Perfect. Well, I, for one, can't wait to see it. I'm sure everyone feels the same way. Thank you so much for joining us on Access Now.
Our pleasure.
And it's now time to turn things over to Total Sports to see what's on tap.
I think we should open a bank account for Bradley.
Why? We already have enough bank accounts.
Well, the boy of age now, he should start learning how to protect his own money.
Protection. At a bank? We can protect our money right in our house.
Mommy, banks have deposit insurance. It'll protect all of your deposits if a bank fails, all the way up to $50,000.
We have deposit insurance?
Yes. By simply opening an account with a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if the bank or credit union fails, right? But don't worry. Payouts to depositors will be made promptly.
Insurance is important, and your Bahamian dollar deposits are protected by the Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Okay. Let's go open that account.
To learn more, visit our website at www.dic.bs for more information.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. At the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Now is the time to spring into savings with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 5.5 ounces, 89 cents. Mega Malt, 11.2 ounce can, 99 cents. Bone-in chicken breast, $1.99 per pound. Green cabbage, 99 cents per pound. Sweet cantaloupes, $2.99 each. The savings you are craving are on special at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Welcome to your Monday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. Original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium was the place to be over the weekend as it played host to the 2026 B3A's Caribbean Trials, with the action taking place this weekend here at home. Dwarfed in comparison to what took place in Turin, Poland on Sunday, as Devin Charlton would secure her 3rd straight world indoor titles in the women's 60-meter hurdles. She would run a blistering time of 7.65 seconds to tie her world record. And also competing in that race was fellow Bahamian hurdler Nisha Cartwright, who would finish in 7th. Again, Devin making history, becoming the only woman to record 3 straight wins in that event. Just ahead of competition, Dennis Sports team spoke with Charlton on what this win would mean for her career.
I'm at the point where I really cemented myself as one of the greats in the event, and I think just this last title would be, just the finishing touches on that and permanently put it away.
Also weighing in on the performance would be B3A's president, Tramigo Archer.
Leader. Let's put it in perspective. Devin Charlton is a 3-time world champion, indoor champion. Devin Charlton is also a 2-time world record holder in the very same event. It has never happened anywhere in our lifetime. And so I think that is a human response for all of us to see what she has done.
Now back here at home again, the B3A's Caribbean Trials taking place with 63 qualifiers heading into this weekend, and a lot more after Friday and Saturday as well as Sunday. Let's take a look at the highlights.
I feel great. I came out with a goal, executed my race to the best of my ability, and I achieved that goal today.
That was sprinter Beyond Ward, one of the handful of Carifta pre-qualifiers from this weekend's B3A's Carifta Trials. Ward competing in the girls under 17 200 meters. But the top spot in that race would go to Kiazra Thomas of Speed Begins, who took the 200 and 400 double in the under 17 girls division. Once again, going under the Carifta standard in both events. She won the 200 in 23.69 seconds and captured the 400 meter title in 55.46. Zion Bradford of the Golden Eagles won the under 17 boys 200 and 400 double. He took the 200 meters in 21.87 seconds. Once again, going under the Carifta standard of 22.03.
It was okay. Did all right with the execution. I got a little bit dizzy on the straight. Had to get it together to come back and win the race. So God is good. I was able to lock in #1 spot to qualify. So I'm happy.
Ian Neely of Bahamas Speed Dynamics looking to be back in elite form. He would take the boys under 2,200 meters in 21.07. Everett Fraser, another pre-qualifier of Fast Forward Athletics, finished in second in 21.19.
The race was pretty good. It was my best. I didn't get out how I would like to, but I still have everything through in. So I'm glad that I made it for the 200. Go to Carifta, and so we're doing much better. And I reject Carifta.
Other pre-qualifiers, including Barico Pierre from the T-Bird Flyers. He was the only qualifier in the 800 meters in the boys under 20 division, winning that race in 1:53.48. Now, the Carifta team is officially expected to be named later this evening. We'll have the full details for you in Tuesday's Sportscast. And in college basketball news, it was a heartbreaking exit for Yolette McPhee-McCoon and her Ole Miss Lady Rebels on Sunday night as they would fall at the buzzer to the Minnesota Golden Gophers in the round of 32 in the NCAA Women's Tournament. Minnesota's Amaya Battle hit a tie-breaking jump shot with 0.7 seconds left on the clock, lifting Minnesota past Ole Miss 65-63. For the Lady Rebs, they would recap their historic season with a 24-12 overall record, their 5th straight appearance in the NCAA tournament, 3rd in 4 years, and the 5th most points ever by any Ole Miss squad.
Disappointed how we ended the game. I thought that there were opportunities from the beginning of the game to the end of the game where we could have taken control of our destiny. I mean, we did that coming out of halftime, and if you want to know how, home court advantage feels, I feel like their fans won them that game today. Like, just I'm not discrediting their play. What an awesome shot by the Battle kid at the end. But their fans, won them that game. You couldn't hear. Just an incredible environment. And, as I close out this year and look forward to next year, the goal will be to host at home so that we can have that same type of opportunity. That's what's next for this program.
That's all the time we have for you for sports on this Monday. I'm Amajal Knowles, signing out until tomorrow.
At Costrite, our members know that there's a lot to smile about. They know that membership has its privileges. Guaranteed low pricing on every item, every time you shop. Each membership comes with 2 cards. That's one for you and a free card for a member of your household. Gold card holders earn an annual 2% rebate up to $500. Costrite members get discounts at other participating businesses. So that's a lot to smile about. Whether it be clothing, appliances, home goods, or groceries, shop at Costrite, where membership truly has its privileges.
At We Buy and Sell, we help you upgrade your home the smart way, from solar panels and solar lights to strong doors, storm-ready windows, tiles, mirrors, vanities, faucets, and more. Everything you need is right here under one roof. Great quality products, great price, and fast, friendly service every day. Visit us on Robinson Road or send us a message on WhatsApp 242-636-8412 or shop anytime at wbusbahamas.com. We buy you sell. Upgrade your home today.
Imagine putting $25 gas in your car, scanning the QR code, and winning a whole cruise and so much more. Well, that could be you with the New Year, New Things promotion happening right now at Rubis. From now until March 27, spend $25 or more in fuel and win one of our amazing prizes, such as $500 worth of Rubis gift cards, Fidelity prepaid Visa cards, BPL vouchers, a 3-night stay at the Margaritaville Hotel, a PS5, and we'll be sending a lucky person on a cruise. I can't wait to see what you win. It's New Year, New Things with Rubis. Don't forget, spend $25 or more, scan the QR code, fill out the form, upload your receipt, enter, and win. That's my boo. I ain't getting leave. I can see you all on the cruise. Don't leave me, don't leave me.
Some burgers are simple. The Barbecue Crispy King, this one goes all in. Smoky barbecue sauce, crispy bacon, flame grilled beef, stacked high flavor in every bite. In Nassau, we don't do small, and we definitely don't do boring. And when morning hits, the Breakfast Barbecue Crispy King has that bam to start the day. Burger King Nassau, triple down on big flavor.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, at Shop Smart, at Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
It's now time for Let's Talk Socials with Matea Stewart.
Big news for Bahamian creators. The game might be changing. Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrey Ramming, has announced that a meeting is set for this Sunday with select content creators to discuss something many have been waiting on for years: monetization right here in the Bahamas. Now, if you're a creator, you already know the struggle. We've been creating, posting, building audiences. But when it comes to actually getting paid from platforms like TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, most Bahamians still have to jump through hoops or miss out completely. So what does this actually mean? Defining content creation as a legitimate industry, not just a hobby. If this is done right, it could shift the entire digital landscape in the Bahamas. And if not, it risks being another conversation that creatives hear about but don't feel. Either way, all eyes are on this meeting. I'm Matea Stewart, and this is Let's Talk Socials.
This bodes extremely well for content creators across the Bahamas. We have such a deep pool of talent. Thanks so much, Matea, as always. That's going to do it for Access Now for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Make sure you stay tuned for the rundown with Howard Grant. Good night, everybody.
It's an initiative that has sparked a movement. How could something so simple as feeding people become the catalyst to unifying business, civic, religious, and independent groups?
It's important that we teach our children to be community-minded. Our first tenet is to be a Christian leader.
Being a Christian leader is being able to give back to your fellow man and loving your neighbor as you would love yourself. Having this initiative and this opportunity to give back is extremely important.
Who would have thought that feeding a community on Thanksgiving would mushroom into feeding the nation through the iconic name, Let's Make a Difference?
I just hope that I could do as much work as Father Striping has been doing over the years.
Our ambitious goal is always to feed 5,000 people, but just to be able to do a fraction of the 30,000 throughout the length and breadth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you know, it feels really good.
To us, it's just important for us to, for one, be a helping hand on this Thanksgiving Day, and also being a good corporate citizen and being a part of our community.
Join us for the Let's Make a Difference initiative, airing now, right here on the ZNS Television Network.
I am excited every day to come here for all the knowledge, the information.
But good sleep begins with diet and exercise.
Oh, you can show off. Oh, Lord. But I remember what they say to me about my health. And we must be healthy in order for us to help person So be empowered.
That's Taking Social Services to the People, Monday at 9 p.m. on ZNS Television.
We play just like your kids. We text just like your kids. We learn. We even cook. We take selfies. We have hobbies. And we love sports. In every way, we are just like everyone else and enjoy the same things and live our lives every day, just like you do. So if you happen to meet us, treat us just like everyone else. Because at the end of the day, we're just like you. Living
At the House of Assembly, I'm Mukesh Lapinder. This is ZNS.
Good evening and welcome to the Rundown here at ZNS. I'm Howard Grant. It is wonderful to be with you at the beginning of another beautiful week. I hope you guys are good out there, getting ready to start Holy Week. There's a lot in the news to talk about. There's a lot of things that have been taking place last week. 2 police-involved shootings, the Free National Movement campaign launch, and Long Island's Mutton Festival. My cousins down there, I got to talk to them. And much anticipated education bill was also tabled in the House of Assembly this morning. The Minister of Education, Technical Vocation Training, Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin, branding the legislation as a full rewrite of how the country treats children, schooling, and the state's responsibility to both. This is an exciting thing. I want to be able to talk more about that. I listened to the legislation, listened to those particular concepts and ideas, and I also listened to the contrast that the honorable member for St. Anne's would have been able to bring up in the House of Assembly today, being able to speak about on the other spectrum, or the other side of what's happening in Grand Bahama, more specifically, with something I'm sure that he doesn't have enough information on, because I hadn't had enough information, but I did call to find out more information. Well, know that. We want to be able to know exactly what's happening and being able to take those righteous steps to understand how do we rectify some of the issues that are happening. I got to be able to commend the government, got to be able to commend the Minister of Education for a long-anticipated, long-awaited concept where kids now at 4 years old are finding themselves back and being able to get themselves prepared for school, so they don't have to be in this kind of a posture and a position where they're ill-prepared when they find themselves in the first grade. So this is wonderful stuff. There's a great deal of things that's happening out there, and I'm excited to be able to talk about that. I want to talk to you about what I identify as the beginning of a building of a momentum for the Free National Movement. Talk to me. I watched the launch, watched those particular things for the very first time. I got to say this with decency, with honesty and transparency. For the very first time in a very long time, we've seen a sense of fluidity coming out of the Free National Movement, and it's stating to us that, hey, listen, you got to be able to prepare for a general election. The Prime Minister says that it's watch night, and we're on election watch. So we're going to be able to identify those particular things very soon. He says that the bell is being dusted off and shined up and being able to get it ready to ring. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to take a little closer look at the country's infrastructure, namely the roads, the bridges, the docks, and such elements of the country's landscape that make life easier for Bahamians. Charged with the responsibility is the Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, the Honorable Clay Sweeting. He'll give us an update on the ministry's operation. He's also the Member of Parliament for Central and South Eleuthera. And we'll be asking him tonight, why should the constituents of Central and South Eleuthera give you a second term? We're going to get into that. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to be right back for that conversation right after this.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training advises the public that the registration process of the 2026-2027 school year for public school students has commenced. Parents are urged to register their children before the deadline of the 31st of March, 2026. Here's what you'll need: your child's proof of identity, immunization card, their most recent transcript or report card, parents or guardians' proof of identity. Register before the deadline to ensure a seamless transition into the new school year. Don't delay. Register today.
Do you have a dispute that's keeping you up at night? A money issue, property damage, a family disagreement, or a contract gone wrong? I'm Judge Carroll, and I'm returning to the studio to hear new cases for Justice with Judge Carroll. If both parties are willing to let me decide, we can resolve your dispute quickly and fairly. Visit judgecarroll.net and complete the case submission form today. Justice is serious business, and I'm ready to help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Rundown. I am Howard Grant. In 2008, he was the youngest member to serve in local government in Spanish Wells. Lutheran later served in Spanish Wells Commonage Committee Chairman. This is an exciting thing. His entrepreneurial spirit came alive at the age of 17 when he purchased half of a fishing vessel, enabling him to become a well-known fisherman. He's smiling, right? He served as the Bahamas Agriculture and Industrial Corporation Chairman, Senator, elected as a Member of Parliament to Central and South Eleuthera in 2021, and then appointed by the Prime Minister to serve as the Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resource, and Family Island Affairs that same year. In 2023, Cabinet Shuffle, he was appointed the Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, a portfolio that manages the country's infrastructure. Let's welcome the Honorable Clay Sweeting to The Rundown. Minister, thank you so much for joining, man.
Thank you for having me.
How are things with you?
Good, man. Good.
It's wonderful to see you. I've only heard you from afar off. I got to call you every so often. I just told him, you know, this is my godfather. No, it's wonderful to have you, man. Tell me about how things have been going. I know that we're in the thick of an election season now.
Yeah, things are going well. You know, I never left the ground, so I just continue what I've been doing over the past 4.5 years in Central and South, and enjoying the opportunity to serve the people there, and as a minister in the Davis administration.
Now, you have, it was an amazing thing to see them be able to choose you. At the onset, I didn't know that you were so tenacious and really being able to push the way that you have, but being able to take on this position in the Ministry of Works. Yep. You have done exceedingly abundantly well. Yeah. Talk to me about that. Let me know right now, sort of an update on what's happening at the New Providence, for Works in New Providence.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Howard. Yeah. And, you know, I think whatever job or opportunity you've given, you put your 110% into it. When we look at New Providence, currently, we have almost every road paving contractor paving throughout New Providence. We have Bahamix, which is the government's entity, which we incorporated for the first time. So the incorporation as a chairman, as a full board to operate that outside of the ministry directives, which streamlines a lot of the paving opportunities. Also, we have up to date, I think, 8 private road contractors in New Providence alone, paving small contractors, Bahamians, paving throughout New Providence. This is the most aggressive road improvement project nationally that we've seen in recent times in regards to not just a main artery being paved, but also the inner city communities getting the smaller roads paved as well. Up to date, we've paved around 40 miles this year. When on average you pave...
Hold on, this year just started in the first quarter?
The fiscal year, sorry.
Okay.
Fiscal year. On average, you usually pave around 25 miles, 26 miles.
Annually?
Annually.
And you've already done 40 miles. So this is very ambitious.
Very ambitious.
What kind of challenges have you faced?
I think some of the challenges would have been access to materials with the different things that's happening across the world. But for the most part, we've been able to move through those, and we've brought on private contractors to help us get the work done much more efficiently.
The government has done an amazing thing in terms of being able to reach out. You know that there was significant indifference when we saw that contract being able to go in West Grand Bahama, or the potential thereof. But then, you know, we saw the government take a pivot and present a concept to Long Island, which I thought was mind-blowing, and afforded persons in Long Island an opportunity to be able to pave, persons who lived locally, an opportunity to be able to pave locally. Talk to me about that.
Right, so Long Island, we're giving them the opportunity. Long Island is just not to pave sand and seal roads, but to pave asphalt roads, and also have proper water infrastructure there. If you see throughout the country, if there's a road paving contractor that lives there, we've provided them the opportunity. Even with the public-private partnership in Eleuthera, the road paving companies are a part of that project. So throughout the country, you'll see road pavers working nationally.
So tell me about this. Those are some challenges. One of the major challenges that we would have had, and past administrations would have been able to talk about those challenges, is potholes. Like, you know, we have rainy seasons, and sometimes those, you know, potholes turn into craters, and this is one of the perpetuating issues that we find when we go through our ministries and being able to identify that. Talk to me about what you're doing to mitigate against those potholes, how you can be rectifying those potholes. What you're doing to fix that?
So this has been a challenge for decades, not just in New Providence, but in the Family Islands. So what we've done is we have assessed, and throughout the Family Islands alone, we're paving over $500 million of roadworks throughout the Family Islands. That's besides New Providence. We're also looking at digitization. In a few weeks, you will see us launch a program that persons, not just in New Providence, but will be able to pin a pothole, and you will see it on the dashboard, and it will go directly to the ministry. So it will not just be a hotline that we currently use. You'll be able to physically pin it, and then it will show up on the dashboard. So then the ministry could...
Which portal are you using for that? What are you using?
Well, we have a...
Ministry of Works app or something like that?
Right, so we have a young entrepreneur, Bahamian entrepreneur, that's actually building the app from scratch. So we have a few persons, a few young people.
This is exciting stuff.
Right, so that's using technology to be able to provide Bahamians, and not only that, it holds the ministry accountable. So if the pothole is pinned and it goes 4 weeks, 3 weeks, you'll be able to hold the ministry accountable to say, look, we've notified you of this pothole 3 weeks ago, and it still hasn't been dealt with.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so essentially what you're doing is allowing the community to police these things.
Yeah, so there'll be a
So if I see a pothole, I could take a snap or take a pin of it, send it to the ministry, and they deal with it accordingly?
Right, and not only that, so we have pothole contractors outside of the Ministry of Works. This will then assign it to that contractor.
Really?
So right now, they would have to go through the WhatsApp and then pull out what's in their section. This will then assign that pothole to them, so they will know what's their responsibility.
I'm going to ask you more specifically, let's get into the infrastructure and development of schools. I think not just schools, but the infrastructure and government buildings and whatnot. Are you satisfied with the upkeep? Historically, we would have identified that governments are poor as it relates to maintenance, historically.
Yes, historically.
In this country, we've identified that governments are not necessarily the best as it relates to maintenance. They talk a good game in terms of development. They put the infrastructure in place. They ensure that all these things are done, but not necessarily maintaining that. Are you satisfied with maintenance going forward in your ministry?
Well, I think there's always a lot more that we can do in regards to governments maintaining infrastructure, whether it's government buildings, whether it's under the Ministry of Works or other ministries as well. Nationally, we haven't did an exceptional job in that regard. That's why it's important that we put together a program that governments or ministries can maintain their own buildings. And that way, you can ensure that you have a maintenance program. When you build new buildings, there's a maintenance program put in place so that from now on, you won't have to, 20 years from now, be caught in the situation that we are in as we speak.
That's an excellent thing. Is that something that you're working on right now?
No, we're starting, so if we build new structures, Ministry of Works, we look at maintenance programs so that once you build the facility, then you have a program in place that whether it's a 5-10 year contract, whether it's assigned to the contractor who built the infrastructure, sometimes it's a warranty. It's looked at as a warranty to ensure that the structure is taken care of outside of government having to maintain these buildings.
You know, most recently I had a great conversation with the Honorable Minister for Housing, Keith Bell, and being able to talk more specifically about his project that they're doing in Carmichael. And he indicated that there was an issue with some water floodage and how you're being able to rectify those issues. Talk to me about drainage. And I know every time, you know, it's always some sort of second nature just to talk more specifically about Pinewood, but there is flooding that's happening throughout New Providence. What are you doing in your ministry to be able to mitigate against that?
So I'm glad you asked that, because we have been working aggressively in regards to flood mitigation in New Providence. We have completed an overall master plan, so we know where the hot spots are. So if you notice, we've started to target those, not just with temporary measures, but with permanent measures. You look at Coral Harbor. There's an extensive, multifaceted approach to drainage there. Pinewood should start shortly. We signed a contract for lift stations in Pinewood. So these lift stations is a targeted approach to flood mitigation in a lot of these areas that flood. So once the water reaches a certain point, the pump kicks in and the water is pushed somewhere else, whether it's in a pond or in a reservoir or 600 feet below the surface. These lift stations are a targeted approach to flood mitigation in flood-prone areas throughout New Providence.
So you would expect to see those in Pinewood or in areas that actually have significant...
So we've started in Coral Harbor. So they've started to do the reservoirs and started to lay the foundation for the lift stations there in Coral Harbor. The contract has been signed and awarded for Pinewood. They've already assessed the areas, assessed the areas where this would happen. So it's 3 locations in Pinewood. So in a few weeks, you'll start the work to commence. And this is exciting because it's an aggressive approach to flooding that we haven't seen in a very, very, very long time.
I dare say, I don't think we've ever seen this. I dare say, I don't think we've ever seen that, but you've been doing wonderful in these particular areas. Now, you've dealt with infrastructure. What about family island development? When we get back, I want to be able to talk to you more about that. But as it relates to these particular things, there are a great deal of things that's happening. One of the things that I'd like to talk to you about that we don't have kind of described down here is this housing initiative and this project that y'all being able to do in terms of the works and being able to do these things. You're in these particular capacities, the infrastructure that you're putting out is an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. And so I want to be able to commend you guys for that and being able to take that. Guys, we're going to take this commercial break, and still to come when we get back, we're going to look at infrastructure around the family islands. You're watching The Rundown here at ZNS Television. We're going to be right back after this.
At Little Caesars, and good. Our popular Chicago-style pizza is back for a limited time only. Enjoy this delicious, thick, buttery crust pizza that's packed with layers of cheese, meats, and veggies for just $18. That inclusive. Now available at all 5 of our locations. Little Caesars, Oakville, Carmichael Road, East Street, Pineapple Plaza, Charles Saunders Highway, and 1 East Plaza.
Pizza, pizza.
Available at Lorix Duty Free, Bay and Parliament, Old Fort Bay, Marathon Mall and Palmdale.
Behind every strong economy is a bold entrepreneur, and we're here to support them, island by island. On Long Island, we've helped 77 entrepreneurs turn their dreams into thriving businesses. Through over $1.9 million in approved funding, the SPDC is strengthening Long Island's economy by investing in its leading sectors: fishing, transportation, and agriculture. No matter the island, every business we support strengthens the economy, starting with yours. SPDC, Bahamas.
And we are back. This is The Rundown. I am Howard Grant. It is wonderful to have you with us, having a great conversation with none other than the Minister of Works and Family and Affairs, none other than Clay Sweeting. Well, outside the country's major population centers in New Providence, Grand Bahama and the Family Islands has an aura of its very own, and many Family Islanders consider it sweet, and the amenities provide the government as a part of its reality. Now, we want to be able to talk about that and talk more specifically. We're continuing our conversation, and we're going to be able to talk about sort of an idea that exists in the Family Islands. I want to know from the Minister, more specifically, give me a list of the priorities that your ministry is accomplishing in the Family Islands right now as it relates to Family Island affairs.
Right, so if you look at what Family Islands comprises of. So that sector of my ministry comprises of regattas, homecomings, festivals, as well as local government. So there's a few different areas and the things that we've accomplished. Of course, one of those was naming sailing as a national sport. And after we did so, you can see the funding but the government has ensured that sailing has been awarded. We have ensured that young sailing schools throughout the country receive grants. We've developed the sport. We've developed regattas. Long Island now, they have done a wonderful job with their team to make that regatta so large. The national regatta in Exuma is extremely large, and it brings tourists and young people domestically and internationally to our shores. When you look at local government, we've increased the local government budget for the first time in over 20 years, so that persons in their communities are allocated more funding to do what they need to do. Not only that, we passed the Local Government Act, the new act. And what this act does for persons living in the Family Islands, it allows local government to, one, increase their stipends, and also to raise revenue. So now local councils are not only strained by the funding that government provides to them, but they can also utilize different means, fundraisers, or to raise funds so that they can help develop projects in the islands, which wasn't like that a few years ago.
Is this near and dear to your heart? I know I off script, but I got to ask you this. Yeah. Is this near and dear to your heart?
I mean, I'm a Family Islander, and being, local government was the avenue that got me into politics originally. But I think living on the Family Islands, you know that for the most part, it seems to have been forgotten. So if you notice over the past few years, whether it be through the Ministry of Works or through the Department of Local Government, we have made significant strides to ensure that airports are developed in the Family Islands, to ensure that we pave more roads in over 30 years in the Family Islands, to ensure that schools are completed, that was left for some time, to ensure that Family Islanders get a true focus from this administration. I think that the Davis administration has done an excellent job to ensure that we found ways, whether through housing, through education, through works, through public service, to ensure that Family Islanders felt as if they were a part of the Bahamas.
Have you seen an uptick? I know you say that. I think that it's a part of the package to be able to say, hey, listen, this is the infrastructural development or the opportunities are definitely bringing tourists in. Have you seen an uptick both locally or domestically and internationally as it relates to regattas or any of these particular events that you're having?
Right. It's not just an uptake in that regard, but we have seen an uptick in job creation and empowerment. I mean, if you look at Central and South Eleuthera, for example, just last week we had 3 flights into North Eleuthera from American Airlines, 3 into Governor's Harbor. In Central and South, areas where persons could not find a job is now working 2 and 3 jobs. So they say if you build it, they will come. Right?
And there's a lot of development.
There's a lot of development.
Yeah.
So I think that theory is proven. Sometimes you'll hear a person say, why you build this when it's only so many people living there? But Central and South Eleuthera is just an example of where, you know, Bahamians are smart and once given the opportunity could really make something of themselves. And we're so happy in Central and South Eleuthera that we can see it on the ground, and we can feel it on the ground.
Well, talk to me about this, seeing and feeling. One of the things that continue to be able to spill over every news cycle, whenever there is sort of an uptick in weather or anything happen, is the Glass Window Bridge. We've seen one administration after another indicate that they're going to be able to make significant developments and do some things with that. We've seen this administration take on this kind of an idea to say we can deal with some stuff. Tell me where we are with that in terms of what our expectation can be. I don't know, maybe before election, but I know within this particular space.
Yeah, so governments are successive, right? And what I did when I was appointed as Minister of Works, I said, look, the Glass Window Bridge is a project that is needed. We did a few things. We changed the legislation for the Bridge Authority. As it stood, the Bridge Authority could only govern 2 bridges in this country, and that was the bridges that connected Paradise Island to New Providence. We changed the legislation to allow them the power, once appointed by the minister, to have authority to maintain bridges. We just spoke about maintenance, right, and infrastructure. So this, and they do a wonderful job on doing it here in New Providence. So now this allows them to maintain bridges throughout the Family Islands once constructed or appointed. So we did that. And then we utilized the plans that was there, finalized the structural designs and the pricing to get that completed. And actually next Monday, we'll sign the preliminary contract with the awarded contractor to start the core and prep work for the Glass Window Bridge.
Really? So we should be able to see some movement real soon.
We'll sign the contract next Monday.
This is exciting.
1 week from today.
This is exciting stuff. Yeah. Congratulations on that. Talk to me about, well, on the last segment, we were talking about some roads and some of the development thereof and doing those particular things. Is there any islands more specifically that you have identified and prioritized and say, hey, listen, this has been legacy issues. Let's take, for instance, we've heard about South and Central or South Andros, and you know the poor road conditions in those particular spaces. I don't know whether or not they've fixed it over the years, but that has been a prolonged conversation, especially around political times. Have you identified any islands specifically to say, hey, listen, we want to prioritize these particular things to develop it?
I think what we did is we took an holistic approach and we looked at the different roads throughout the Family Islands that needed to be addressed. So it wasn't one island in particular. You look at South Bimini, those roads wasn't been paved in years. That work should be completed or almost completed. South Andros is getting paved. North Andros has been paved, or parts of it. The Barry Islands are currently being paved. You have areas in Abaco that we've paved. Central and South Eleuthera, North Eleuthera is about to get some road work. Cat Island, San Salvador, Inagua, Mangrove Key, Acklands, I think that might be, I might be missing one or two, but almost every family island, you're currently seeing road. This might be, and I could probably be fact-checked on this, the first administration that has almost every road paving contractor in the country working, whether it's on the family islands or in New Providence.
And just you're doing it. You're doing it now.
Currently, yeah, currently.
Excellent, man. That's absolutely excellent. Well, I know we've been talking about these things. The ministry also responsible for family island bridges. You talked about the authority. Now, I wanted to ask you whether or not this sort of an aggressive approach for the paving, is that included in this kind of a 40 miles that you've been doing over the past year? Or is that 40 miles solely dedicated to Nassau and you're doing, you know, other projects?
No, that's only currently in New Providence, that 40 miles.
Here in Nassau?
Yeah, it's just in New Providence.
Really?
So in Eleuthero, we've paved almost 50 miles under the current contract that started a year or two earlier. We've paved 10 miles, I think, in Abaco. We've paved a few miles in South Bimini, in the Barry Islands. All of this road work is already completed or ongoing or about to start. The contract for Mangrove Key for waterworks and for road works, the contract was signed a few months ago. In Long Island, the work has started. So it's a real aggressive program to road paving throughout the country.
How is that from the infrastructural aspect? How is the water? You know, we know that you still have, you know, jurisdiction over that particular space also. Tell me, you don't, that's not, water and sewage.
Water and sewage.
Water and sewage. Oh,
but you could
I don't know why I'm asking you, you know why I'm asking you that?
It used to be.
Because of, anyway, we can get into that on the next side. We can get on the next side and get into that. Well, I want to know about these things. Tell me about local government celebrating 30 years?
Yep, 30 years.
I can't believe, hold on, I can't believe it's 30 years. I remember when the Free National Movement passed the bill, the concept, the idea, being able to bring that to the forefront. And I didn't know I was 14 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was attentive and everyone was excited about it. It's been 30 years. Talk to me about it.
30, yeah, it's been 30 years, and from inception, the idea was to bring local government closer, or central government closer to the people and the family islands. So we've seen it evolve over the years, whether it's been amendments to the legislation, a full overhaul of the legislative agenda on local government. But I would like to thank the administrators and the staff at local government who have to travel and live in different places throughout the islands and manage the affairs of the islands along with the local councils. So we have 33 districts throughout the country, and we have different councils that's made up of the people who actually live in these communities, and they run the affairs of the island.
Are we any closer to the possibility, despite the murmurs that's happening on the ground, to being able to see local government in the city of Nassau?
You know, I've been asked this, I think,
8 million times.
Yeah, right? and my view has always been the same. You know, local government in the family islands has to be the best version of itself to ensure that it is able to move into New Providence. And persons, I think, use it as just as a conversation in regards to local governments, because you know, what version of local government do you want in New Providence? Do you want, you know, you hear members of Parliament complaining all the time about large constituencies. They have 6,000 constituencies or 7,000 constituencies. It's a version of local government. Could that bring government closer to the people where you have 30,000 constituents? You know, I think that, you know, local government in the family islands was envisioned because central government was in New Providence, and that there wasn't a connection between the two. There was a disconnect of where the family islanders were able to get access to opportunities, access to government services in the family islands. And that was the bedrock on what local government was created.
Can we do it better in the family islands? You know, I'm from 8 Mile Rock.
Yeah.
And we know about the districts associated with those particular things, right? And, you know, I was involved in that, and I understood exactly what. I understand the jurisdictions that's happening in Grand Bahama, and we hear the stories that's happening from around the islands. And it seemed to be, sometimes, I think it's progressed into this sort of political motivation. And people see themselves as one party in, I got to get my people in. The other party's in, I got to get my people in. Does that stifle productivity? Does it stifle this sort of an idea of being able to see local government effective in these particular spaces?
Yeah, I don't think the idea of local government was to be political as it is in other countries throughout the region.
Yeah.
And some communities, believe it or not, do an exceptional job of keeping politics out of their local councils. So sometimes you will see a PLP run council when the FNM is in, or vice versa. But councils run because of their belief that their communities could always be better and find ways to do that. So some communities do an exceptional job of ensuring that they keep politics out of local government, and they thrive because of it.
Mm-hmm. Is there any specific things in terms of celebrations or things that you want to be able to identify during this 30-year celebration?
Yeah,
this is the Silver Jubilee.
Yeah, so we started this year, this month, actually, with the proclamation, and the proclamation was read, of course, in Central and South Eleuthera. And different districts are doing their celebrations differently. Some holding larger church services and having a few weeks of activities with the community. Some are awarding council members. In Spanish Wells, they honored every council member that has been elected.
Over the 30 years?
Over the 30 years.
That's excellent.
Whether it was post after they passed away, or whether it was to their widows or the persons that were living. So they did that last week, and everyone came together and celebrated of where we've come as a country, but most importantly as a community, and celebrated together.
Because I listened to you talk about it, right? And we got to take this commercial break real soon, guys, so just bear with me. But I listened to you talk about local government more specifically, knowing that this is where you really cut your teeth in terms of being able to step in to the political realm. And identifying those things, is it working? Does it provide that camaraderie? Does it provide that space for community? Does it really empower persons to be able to get a hold of their community and shape it into the idea that they want it to be?
Well, local government involves people, right? And it is an effort not just for central government, for the people elected, right? Because you have to remember they are elected officials as well, right? Mm-hmm. And they are elected by the people in their community to represent them. So they should find ways to develop their community and think outside of the box.
They have autonomy.
Not full autonomy, but they have autonomy to a certain aspect in regards to their budget. They still have to go through the same finance thresholds that government has to in regards to tender process and all of that. But if they want to accept a donation for a fire truck, they can do that for their community. If their community needs an ambulance services, they work with the Ministry of Health to get that certified. So they can be creative to help to bolster their community initiatives in different ways.
Would you encourage, before I go to a break, I know you're going to be to talk about this, but would you encourage anyone, young persons who want to get involved in politics, who's interested, would you encourage them to get involved in local government?
Yeah, of course. A local government is whether you want to, when I ran the first time for local government, I didn't anticipate, 15, 20 years later being a member of Parliament. My view was I wanted to be a part of the community. I wanted to serve, and persons who a lot of time people complain and think that things should be better. And instead of talking about change, be a part of that change.
I like it. Be a part of progress, eh?
Yeah, be a part of progress. I was like, put that. Sound good.
Well, we can get into our last segment right after this. We can talk a little bit about politics and that progress that he's talking about. Let's take this quick break, guys. This is your rundown. We're going to be right back after this.
My name is Omar Ferguson. I've been disabled now from 2009. What inspired me to start my own business? It was the determination to know that I still had something left in me, even though a lot of my independence, my mobility was being restricted. In my disability, it's kind of hard finding the investors or the capital. For example, national insurance. The benefit that we receive, it's a lifeline. And at any business that you're going to take, it's going to be a risk. We're not looking for handouts, but we want you to understand that we still need a little special care. This literally gives us a backbone that, hey, we could actually stand someday. This is the business I know it's going to be a risk. Even going through that process, I'm still dependent on national insurance. Overall, being in the program itself, it's put me in a place where I feel young again. I feel like anything is possible. I would say to others with disabilities, look around your community, just like you guys said in one of the modules. See what is needed in your community and go for it. Don't be afraid, just go for it.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
It's an initiative that has sparked a movement. How could something so simple as feeding people become the catalyst to unifying business, civic, religious, and independent groups?
It's important that we teach our children to be community-minded. Our first tenet is to be a Christian leader.
Being a Christian leader is being able to give back to your fellow man and loving your neighbor as you would love yourself. Having this initiative and this opportunity to give back is extremely important.
Who would have thought that feeding a community on Thanksgiving would mushroom into feeding the nation through the iconic name, Let's Make a Difference?
I just hope that I could do as much work as Father Striping has been doing over the years.
Our ambitious goal is always to feed 5,000 people, but just to be able to do a fraction of the 30,000 throughout the length and breadth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you know, it feels really good.
For us, it's just important for us to, for one, be a helping hand on this Thanksgiving Day, and also being a corporate citizen and being a part of our community.
Join us for the Let's Make a Difference initiative, airing now, right here on the ZNS Television Network.
And we are back. This is the Rundown. I'm Howard Grandwell. We're talking with none other than the Honorable Clay Sweeting this evening. And the Central and South Eleuthera constituency comprises of key communities in Palmetto Point, Savannah Sound, Topham Bay, Rock Sound, Greencastle, Wims Bight, Deep Creek, Bannerman Town, and Cape Eleuthera. As mentioned earlier, the Honorable Clay Sweeting is a native Eleutherans, represents this part of the Bahamas in Parliament. He's vying for the second term in the upcoming general election. And our first question about your constituency is, why should you serve a second term as a member of Parliament for the Central and South Eleuthera constituency? Go ahead.
Thank you, Howard. Before I answer that, make sure I don't want to miss out Hatchet Bay.
Hatchet.
James Siston, Governor's Harbor, and John Millis.
Okay.
So those four, make sure.
Yeah, you got to get them votes too. Indecent.
Get them in too. Central and South Eleuthera, you know, that's a few things. I never left the ground from when I was elected. This is some most infrastructural development that Central and South Eleuthera has seen in 50 to 60 years. Hands down. I mean, the record speaks for itself. The initiatives that we do in social programs, the Starting Line program, the programs that we do that's catered to education, the social programs, and that's outside of the normal things such as the back to school and the Christmas things. But we have created an economic environment in Central and South that they haven't seen And yes, you know, they said that former Prime Minister Eubin Ingram said that Eleuthera had its time. And we're glad that the time is back on a progressive Liberal Party administration. But anyone who wants to work can find 2 or 3 jobs in the private sector. And there are a lot more other international investors that are looking for developments and approvals to do things there. And you also see locals, you know, making opportunities for themselves. You know, you see people traveling now that they couldn't do back in the day. I remember growing up, I always tell the story, growing up I used to always be able to buy crab during the summer. Now people's working and don't have time to go crabbing. But you know, we're really given or provided Eleuthera with the representation that they've been longing for a long time.
Well, talk to me about this. Social media has its way of being able to always amplify the negative and really bring it to the forefront. I think would have been sometime last year where we were talking about some water issues. That's why I brought up with you with that, right? There were some water issues that I think that you rectified. Talk to me about that and where you stand in that constituency now.
So let's start by saying these water issues are decades issues, right? If anyone remembers, I think it was a week before the last election, the water company that owns the water RO plants turned off the water because of lack of payment. What I can say is this administration understood what had to happen there, and we created a special purpose vehicle to purchase these RO plants so that the government and Bahamians will now have an opportunity to run these operations. And not only that, we've put the infrastructure in place to make it a lot better. So in Central and South Eleuthera, the water situation is much better than it was years prior.
Tell me about the power, the electrification, the energy aspect, and the consistency thereof. Are you having any issues with that?
Right. So here again is where we speak about progress. This issue has challenged Central, South, North for decades as well. The government has taken a direct approach on providing the necessary equipment to start to rectify these issues. There are still some challenges. But we also create a power purchase agreement with AE Energy that would provide solarization and LNG to the people of Central and South Eleuthera, well, North as well. So you should see the work start on the ground very shortly. They've already raised the capital. They've pushed the land needed to start to install the solar panels as well as the LNG equipment. So, you know, here we talk about progress. We didn't just stand by, make excuses and say that, you know, look, this has been a challenge and just keep using that as an excuse. We've made progressive steps to make it better for the people of Central and South Eleuthera.
You know, sometimes these conversations about progress, growth, development can be able to happen over the heads of our youth. And they are watching things move around them and not necessarily participating, whether that is because they are naive, they don't know, or there hasn't been a room created for them. What are you doing more specifically in Central and the South to be able to ensure that you incorporate and provide opportunity for young people?
Right, so a part of that is you got to understand your demographics, right? Whether if it's entrepreneurs, you create an entrepreneurial environment, whether you invite persons to provide college programs, educational opportunities, entrepreneurial opportunities. And you also, actually next Friday evening, by the headquarters, we're having a sit down with young people where we can speak about them becoming a part of the progress they want to see in Central and South Eleuthera. So it's not just providing the opportunities what you feel they need. Even though we've done college programs, we've done educational programs, we've invested in school opportunities, we have ensured that the entrepreneurial opportunities are there. But then they get to voice in an environment that is conducive to them, and they're able to say, look, this is what I want to see my community this is where the direction I want to see. I want to see more investment and grants for young Bahamian entrepreneurs, or I would like to see the tourism sector grow or divert in this way. But we have done a good job of that, whether through the Constituency office or through the Ministry of Tourism, through the Small Business Development Center. They've been a part of the continued growth in Central and South. I mean, we've also, when I was a Minister of Agriculture, we provided agricultural opportunities or marine resource opportunities where you have young Bahamians who want to be stone crab fishermen or farmers. Or organic farmers. So we've done it in different sectors in different ways to ensure that we touch every young person in the way that they feel they should be touched.
How does it equate on the ground? How is it panning out on the ground? This is a numbers game. This is about emotion. This is about movement. This is how do you provoke people to move and to support? Have you done that provocation to have not just young people, but the community to be able to say, hey, listen, let's take a look at what Clay is doing. This is the first time in decades we've seen this kind of a progress, this movement. Are they open up to that? Are they seeing that in the constituency?
Yeah, I think it's even deeper than provocation. I think it's being a part of them, you know. When you're a member of Parliament and you're continue to represent and be amongst the people, then your ear is always on the ground. So you understand what they need, and they be involved. You know, most of the persons who are involved in my campaign are under the age of 45. They are the actual, and if you notice the way I run my campaigns or I run my ministries are different than most. Because, you know, even my PR for my ministry.
You got Steve and them all over the place.
All over the place.
All over the place.
And I let them go. I just, you know, I don't micromanage because, you know, and I still consider myself young, but they understand what young people want to hear. So if you look at the TikToks or the Facebook, the way that they give information on what we're doing at Ministerial Works or what I'm doing in my constituency is in a complete different method than most, you know, and they're amazing on how they put the thoughts together to connect with people. So I think that's what
I'm glad to see them get you involved like that. Man. They get you involved like
Whatever
that.
they tell me do, I do. I don't even argue anymore.
Just do it.
Their favorite phrase is trust the process.
Trust the process.
So you know, I trust the process. You know, and it ends up becoming a hit most of the time. So
tell me about this then. Tell me about this sort of an idea. Do you trust the process leading into this? The Progressive Liberal Party has done its fair share. I often say at the onset in 2021, I was indifferent. I didn't understand exactly what was happening with the administration, with the government being able to take on this kind of an idea and going from an external standpoint to bring opportunities here to the country. I was oblivious. But then we saw progressively, we saw, no pun intended, we saw these steps being taken by the Prime Minister to ensure that he aligns these things, and it seems like everything's falling in place. Does the Progressive Liberal Party, and more specifically, does South and Central Eleuthera trust the process to victory?
South and Central and South Eleuthera is ready.
Okay.
Central and South Eleuthera is ready to be a part of the progress. They've seen the work that is done, and I want to commend the Prime Minister for giving myself the opportunity and young people the opportunity. I think that, and that's the difference. You know, I'm the youngest cabinet minister, the youngest minister of works in history of the country. And he provides people an opportunity to do things that we haven't seen before in regards to youth development. South and Central is ready. The country is ready for another term with the brave Davis administration. And
that's the consensus you get when you travel around. They tell you, they say, we get with brave.
We ready in Central and South. We staying with Clay.
We staying with Clay. That's what they say. They say we staying with Clay. I'd like to hear that, but tell me about it. So you said you're trusting the process, you're doing these particular things, and there is an expectation. We saw Philippa the other night, Philippa Kelly, being able to speak the other night at the ratification, not at the ratification, at the campaign launch, and really being able to talk about those particular things. And she's enthusiastic. We're seeing those things. But because, you know, our ears is on the ground, there is still sort of a leaning in a particular direction. And it seems as though, we don't get in people's business, it seems as though it's in one direction as opposed to another. Talk to me about that. Is this because of that commitment, this sort of an idea, this openness, this transparency, this inclusion that you have in Central and South? How do you go, South and Central or Central and South?
Central and South.
Central and South. Talk to me about it.
So when I was elected, Howard, I promised myself that I would give my constituency 110%. And that's what I've done. And in politics, you have to be like a horse with blinders on.
Just keep running.
Just keep running. Don't worry about what happens left or right. But Central and South youth were strong. They PLP all the way.
I like it. I like it. Let them know how they can reach you. Let them know where you are, where you're going to be in your office so they can be able to reach. It can't be in time now.
You know, I have a mobile office, which is really...
You got a mobile office?
Yeah, I have a mobile. I've had a mobile office for 3 years. Yeah, solarized, Starlink.
So just call you.
So we go. So we set up days. So we have a main office now as well, but the main office is in Palmetto Point. But we go to different settlements every week and meet with the people. We go to the people. The people have to come to us.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. This has been a wonderful opportunity. The Honorable Clay Sweeting. Now you got to come back. You got to come back again. I got to come back again and being able to do that. It's been a great conversation. We want to find out more about this as we heat up in the political season. We're going to find out more about what's really going on in Central and South Eleuthera with Clay Sweeting and seeing exactly what's happening down there. I want to thank you guys so much for being able to tune in tonight. That does it for us here at The Rundown. Be sure that you stay locked in to ZNS for the Bahamas tonight at 11 p.m. It's the final newscast of the country with the latest in news and information with Covell Pyfrom. From all of us here at ZNS, I'm Howard Grant, and thanks so much for joining us.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.